Hello, my heroes and villains. This is me, the illustrious sausage grand tomato slime extraordinaire. And we're back in Honkai Impact 3rd. When we last left off, I was right. I was right. I was mostly right. I called that it was the Hersher of Corruption doing stuff, and boy, I like that the screen out here is glitching out. I was not completely correct on how it was the Hersher of Corruption, but I will take it. I'm a genius. I'm incredible. But yes, we're going to continue on. I thought we were in chapter 31. We're only still in chapter 30. 30, that explains some things. But yeah, we're gonna continue on for, as long as I feel able, because I still feel like shit. I'm back? Oh. Just as she had regained her senses, the sharp pain in her head nearly caused her to pass out again. It's really not that easy. The pain kept on, but she didn't make a sound. She knew the pain was chipping away at the key to a counteroffensive. Unfortunately, that was something her enemies knew as well. Here it comes! It is also, it's very funny, because, like, obviously we've seen... What the fuck? We've seen the form that the Hersher of Corruption is going to take from the main screen. I had seen Blue Elysia before. But I just thought it was like a skin or something. I 100% did not realize that was the form the Hersher of Corruption was going to take. Huh? Over so soon? What's that sound? It can't be. It was impossible, because Vilvi had told herself that her data was deleted by enemies. Then the voice she was hearing could only belong to an imposter. The Hersher of Corruption appeared before her in the most spiteful way imaginable. I should have gone like 2 more minutes yesterday. Or not yesterday, Wednesday. You're still alive? Perhaps I should put it like this? What was it? Okay, and that's probably the end of chapter 30. And it kicks me out. Okay, that makes sense, because I was thinking, when we finished the Vilvi part, I was like, man, that felt like the end of a chapter. I also thought I was already in 31. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. Alright then, we are in the final chapter of To the Flawless. That's so funny. I really should have just done like another minute. The moon shone brightly. Eden closed the door to the rooftop, cutting off the flickering lights behind her as she went. The sound of music drifted in and out on the other side of the door, as though the show from earlier was still going on. Hey, what are the odds? That's some fresh air too. An unfamiliar voice stopped Eden dead in her tracks. The show shouldn't be finished just yet. Realizing her disguise was still intact, Eden relaxed a bit and nodded. Next will be the cutoff. The curtain call. What? Cutoff? I can't read. You don't like curtain calls? Applause can overshadow the light of the play. I only wish to appreciate its original form before that happens. It was a weird response, but she laughed anyway. Yeah, no kidding. The characters are back to being actors, standing on stage during the curtain call. It's almost a sad scene.
まるで
It's like saying it's almost
今
a
までの
story.
出来事は
And when the
ただの
curtain
物語
falls, the story is done.
幕がそれがカーテンコールでしょ
But that's what the
その
curtain
瞬間を
call
見
is all
届けた
about.
くないの
You didn't want to see it.
多少なりとも寂しくなるでしょ
Sad to see it end.
ロ
It's
マ
a
ン
pretty
に溢れ
romantic
た物
story.
語
I'd
だったか
like
ら
to savor it some
も
more.
うロマン
Romantic. This is the
この
first
演
time I
目を
heard
そん
that
な
word
風に
used
評
on
価
the
する
play.
人なんて薄暗い
Solemn,
重苦しい
sad, depressing.
悲しさと
That's how
悔し
most
さに
people
満ちて
describe
る
it.
ジャンルに悲劇
It's
って
a
書
tragedy
いてある
after
から
all.
ね確かにひどいとは思う
It's a
のよ
bit much, really.
第一幕から
Nothing,
嫌なことばかりで
nothing happy happens
全
from
て
the
の
first
展
act
開も
onward.
物語をよ
Things
り
just
悪い
keep
方
getting
向へ
worse
と向
and
かわせる
worse.
し
It's like they're describing Elysium Everlasting.
キャラクターたちも無力な人ば
The
かり
characters are hopeless and
運命
powerful.
に押されながら
Rapidly pushed
前に
forward by
進んだ
fate.
結果
It's all too real.
瞬く間にそんな物語を
It's hard to get people
笑
to
って
sit through
最
an
後まで
entire
見る
story
人は
like
少な
that.
いですそもそもいない
You mean
という方
impossible
が
now?
正しいそれならどうし
So
て
what
ロ
makes
マン
you
があ
call
る
it
と思った
romantic
の
then?
あの結末だから
Because of how it ends, of course.
家庭はとても大変だったけ
It's
ど
sad for the
フ
most
ィナー
part,
レは好
but I
きな
quite
の
like the ending.
荘園
A
に包
small
まれ
blood
た廃
rises
墟
from
で
the smoldering ruins.
新しい芽が
It's
土を
beautiful,
破
no?
って出てこようとす
Okay,
る
it's literally a metaphor for the previous era.
そう長く咲くかもしれないし次の瞬間には枯れるか
Maybe
も
it'll
しれない
bloom,
けど
or maybe it'll wither.
その
But
時
at the
はそこ
moment,
にいるの
it's right there,
世界
announcing
に
its new life to
自
the
分
whole
の人
world.
生を私がどうして
The
も忘れ
moment
られないのは
that moment
そうい
will
う
stick with me
瞬
for a
間な
long
の
time.
まるで私にこう
It
教え
tells
てる
no
みたい
tragedies in the end.
悲劇
It's
は
the
終わりでは
beginning
な
of
く
hope.
私たちがこの世
Our
界に残
footprints
し
will
た足
someday
跡は
guide someone else
いつか
forward.
の悲劇は終わりではなく
Tragedy isn't the end. It's
希
the
望
beginning
の
of hope.
始まり
The words lingered in her mind.
楽
It's
観
pretty
的な考え
optimistic.
方だけ
That's
ど
pretty optimistic.
確
But
かに
I guess
ロ
you're
マンチ
right.
ックね
It is romantic.
人間だけがそう思えるし
Only humanity
人
could
間
think
だ
like
けが
that.
その
And
信
only
念を
humanity
現
could try
実
to
に
realize
生きる
such a conviction.
旅の過程が善でも悪でも
Hi,
たどり着いた
Shinda.
ゴールが喜でも
Whether
哀
the
でも
journey is good or bad,
So
whether
no
the ending is
美しさは
happy or sad,
人の
this
ためだ
beauty
けに
exists
存
only
在
because
す
of
る
people.
そう大
Yep.
人になった苦
After
しみを経
experiencing the
験し
pains
た
of
後も
adulthood, a
あ
child
の
will
幼
one
い
day
子供
wake
は
up with the
ある
same
日目
conviction
を
from
覚まして
before.
自分が信頼してた物事を信じ続ける
Slime feels awful, but we're pushing through that to try to stream. How Cinda?
人間性の美はそれほど脆く
Human
て
beauty is
純
fragile,
真で
yet perfect
無
and
垢なもの
pure,
まるで水晶の花の
a
ように
crystal
ね
flower in bloom. The young girl gazed into the starry sky and sang softly, a sight Eden was very familiar with. It reminded her of the view on stage when she was enamored with singing.
芸術関係のプロでもそんな
Even
細
among
やかな目線
professionals,
で世界を
few
見つ
can
める
gaze
人は
upon
少
the
な
web
い
with
わ
such delicate grace.
失礼だけど
Are you
あなたは
an actress,
役者
writer,
脚本家
composer?
がっかりさせちゃうけど
I'm just another viewer.
私は普通
Sorry
の
to
観客よ
disappoint. Took nap during work? Hell yeah. Sleep on the man's dime.
強いて言えばたくさんの場所に行ってたくさん
So
の人
special
に会
about
っ
me.
て
Maybe I haven't been to a lot of places, seen a lot of
見
people.
た目がちょ
And
っと
looking
可愛い
real
くらい
cute.
かしらだから今の話は
What I've said,
私の感想
just
だ
my
と思っ
personal
て
feelings about the play.
感想ね
Your personal feelings.
我が友
If you
よ
don't mind, maybe we
差し
can
支
talk
えな
about
け
it
れ
more
ば
after the show.
こう美しさの本質それは私が追い求めて
It
る
is
もので
warm
もあ
after
る
too. So how about
場所は
the ice float canteen at the
青
top of
空
the
ビ
blue
ル最
sky
上階
building?
のそれって
Whoa!
予
Is
約
that the
困
first
難
one
な
with
超
a never-ending
人気店
wait
じゃない
list?
の
Wouldn't it be too much trouble to bring me along?
まさか
No.
向こ
They
うは
already
私の
saved
た
two
めに
seats just for
二
me.
人席をそのいつまでもには
One day that
期
might
限がある
change,
と思う
but
けど
it should still be good.
少な
For
くとも
tonight at
今
least.
夜それは
That sounds awesome.
私ったら
Of
どん
course,
な
I'd
す
love
ごい
to
人が
go.
知りそういえ
But
ばこん
after
な
all
に
this
話したの
talking,
に
I also
自己
haven't
紹
even
介が
introduced
まだ
myself. The young girl looked back, smiling at Eden. The moonlight reflected silently on her face.
私の名前はエリシ
My
ア
name is Alicia,
楽園
the
を
symbol
象
of
徴する
paradise.
エリシ
And
アよ
you? Oh, I didn't actually think about that. Their names are both, like major afterlife things. Obviously, I, in my mind, knew that Eden and Elysium are, like, afterlife paradises, but I never actually made the connection that both of them are named after a paradise. If I was making the connection that I was making with Eden is the Star of Eden, later. You know, the divine key.
アポニアさん、その体。
Aponia, your body.
ええ、
Yes, I'm sorry.
ごめんなさい。
Galbus used his life to uncover the enemy's location for us. And also let me
自身の命で
complete my touch
私に起こった異常現象
for
につ
the
いては
anomalies on my body.
どうか
Please, do not
相手に
interact
接
with the
触
other
しないで
person in any way.
ください。
The discipline is the last gift
この
I
戒
can
律
give
は
to you.
神職の律者、
Usher of corruption.
最後の時間の中で
In those final hours,
仙号は
Galbus told me
自身が向
everything
き
he
合っ
knew.
たものすべてを私あらゆる
All of it. No need to say anything more. They all knew what that meant.
そんな顔をしないで。
Don't give
エ
me
デン、
that look, Eden.
これは
Death,
誰もが経験
as
する
far
こ
as
と。
I'm concerned, just sets me on my
私にと
path
って
a
は
little bit easier.
あらかじめ
I'm glad
あ
I
の
gave her
花を
that
グレ
flower
イシュ
in
に託
advance.
せたことを
Crisio
喜ばしく
is
思
a
っている
smart
よ。
kid. She'll keep it safe.
だから
Go
彼女
find
の
her
持
then.
つそういえばスーも
She
ケビンが
said
消える
Kevin
前
left
に
him with
ある
something
ものを
before
自分に
disappearing.
渡したと
Yet
話して
he
い
must
たわ。
have the same idea.
つまり今のところ
That's how we can be
4つ
certain
の
three
紙
of
の
the
中
keys
で
are safe and sound.
3つ残りはビ
The
ルビ
only
ーだ
one
けだ
left
ね。
is Vilvi.
仙号との接触の
So
中
I said this last time. My
うっ
assumption
す
for
らと
what
ではあっ
these
たけど
are is
彼女の姿が見え
the
たから
Kevin killer. That would delete the whole Elysian realm. Because Alicia, or no, it was given to Alicia for like to determine what to do. Then I would assume she split it up between Kevin, Aponi, and Vilvi, and being like, "Hey, like if all of you agree, or you know, give it to someone, and then it can happen, then it'll happen, rather than me holding on to it alone."
まだ無事であることを祈っている。
I hope she's still doing all right.
先ほどから
I couldn't tell
彼女の
just
状
from just
況を
now.
探知そうなのね。
Before I
でも
got here, May had
私が
already
ここ
gone
に
to
来
meet
る
her.
前にあのビルビーのことだから
As Vilvi, she'll make the right call.
もうただ
Is that so?
そう
I find it really funny how confident in Vilvi they are when at least part of Vilvi was one of the evil.
では
Then
彼女を
all we
信
can
じ
do
る
is
しかない
believe in
ね。
her.
私は律者がスーとグレイシュを見つける前に彼らと
Find
合流し
Grisio and Sue before the
すべての
Hersher.
水晶の
Gather
花
up all
を
the
集め
crystal flowers and
その本来の効
get
果を
them
発
to
揮させ
bloom
るわ
as they should.
ええ
Good.
さあエデン
You can go now. Let the secret of that night
あ
see
の
the
夜
light
の
of
秘
day.
密を
A gentle sigh rose up from the quiet, like a final prayer. After a moment of silence, her heavy gaze fell back on
こ
Eden.
こでお別れね
Eponia, this is
アポニ
goodbye.
アさん最後の戒律をありがと
I'm thinking
う
again
私がすべきこと
about like
全部果たすまで どうか
my theories
覚
with
悟
Alicia and her Hersherness, and how the Hersher of corruption is because I've talked at length before about how all of the human Hershers like act different from what we know of how a Hersher should act and act in the previous era, right? The thing they all have in common, obviously, is they're all human, and we know now. I don't know if they've officially said it in this. I think they said it at some point because I know her stuff is unlocked in Elysian Realm, but Alicia is the Hersher of human ego. So my assumption is still that she did something that like changed humanity, imparted her like the love she has into humanity, which is why everything is revolving around love, and why the Hersher in the current era, and why the Hershers are so much more human. The Hersher of corruption, even in the previous era actually, but especially right now, is just a mimetic entity. They were in a robot in the when we saw them outside with Raven. They even thought that it started in a robot. That might make it the most Hersher like Hersher, because if what Alicia did is an effect on humanity, in theory, because it isn't human, it's a mimetic entity, it's a robot, that wouldn't have whatever Alicia did inside of it, right? So that might be. I wonder if the will of the Honkai saw like what all the Hershers were like in the current era, and were like, I don't like this. This isn't how it's supposed to be, and like created the Hersher of corruption this way. I still don't actually know if the will of the Honkai creates the Hershers or if they are a different natural byproduct of the Honkai. I don't know if it actually has control over it, but it came into existence in the will of the Honkai void. So yeah, I'm interested to see that, if like this is a very separate, different entity to the other modern era Hershers, because it's not a human.
どうか無事で。
Take care.
何かをする力はもう残っていないけれど、
Though there is nothing more
あ
I
のデ
can
ータで
do,
構成された
I'll
混
bring
沌
my
の中で、
blessings from the ocean of
あな
chaotic
たに
depths,
あなたたちが
and I'll pray
よ
for
り良
you
い未来へと
for a better future.
ある。
Eden disappeared into the darkness. Behind her was nothing but silence, yet she knew she would soon face an even darker abyss. Death. When the bard who tells the story of her time becomes part of the story, how does she lead it to its conclusion? For no apparent reason, the words floated up in her mind again.
悲劇は終わりではなく、
Tragedy isn't the end.
希
It's the
望の
beginning of
始ま
hope.
りなの。
Ms. Vilvia already. I also, I have had a tier list for, Alicia, quote unquote, story. I've had a tier list I made a while ago for my opinions on, like, all of the Hoyo characters. After last stream, I moved Vilvia up. Vilvi is an incredible character. I really like her. I really like what they did with her. I moved Kalpus up a little too, because I adore Kalpus. I think my rankings for the Flame Chasers right now are Alicia and Kevin are 1 and 2 easy. Probably then is Kalpus and Vilvi together. Then I think the next tier would be Eden, Mobius, Pardofelis, Sakura, did I say Grizio? Yeah, and Grizio. And then I just like, I don't really care that much about Eponia. I don't know what it is. I just like, she's fine. Oh, and I don't care about Cosmo. I'll be honest. I don't know. I probably like Eponia more than Cosmo. But those are the only two that I don't really have any particular feelings for. I like Eden a lot, and I think we're gonna get here the like moments where I go, oh no, yeah, I absolutely love her. She's actually the best. Because she made a really strong, like, first impression on me in Elysian Realm, and then she kind of tapered off because she wasn't doing as much, right? But now it's going to her again. The lights of the empty amusement park were still on, the facilities all running as usual. There stood 2 young girls opposite each other. The hostile gaze of one of them erected an invisible barrier between them. Lulicia. Who? Oh, you exactly.
あら、ちょ
Oh,
っと会ってないだ
it's
け
been
で
a short while
私
and
の
you've
ことを
forgotten
忘
me.
れちゃった
Oh
の？
yeah. Sue, I like Sue. But I don't love Sue. I think is how I feel about him.
メイ ったら白状すぎるわね。
But again, I feel like his
私悲しいわ。
pop-off moment is coming. I think he was interesting in the Cosmic Juggernaut chapter. Was it the Divine Key manga with him and Durandal? But I think like most of my enjoyment of him right now is comparing him to Alhaitham in Genshin. And Alhaitham, while having Sue's appearance, is really much more of a Kevin character. He has Sue's appearance with Kevin's personality. Alhaitham. Even down to having Kevin's like facial expressions. Which is part of why I really like. I love the jokes of Alhaitham is Kevin and Sue's kid. But yeah, I think he and Eden are gonna get their big moments here. Cause like Vilvi and Calpis, right, last chapter got a lot of like really, really big boosts in what they were doing. The Elysium Realm Elysium Everlasting arc has a couple external media videos for some of the characters to give them a little more backstory, but this arc's so right. Yeah, I really think it's chapter 29 is really padded. Because once I hit chapter 30, it was really good. I think chapter 29, it's all set up, right? And that groundwork is important, but it just, chapter 29 felt so padded. It felt like nothing was really happening, nothing was pushing forward. And then chapter 30 is like, here you go. Here's all this Vilvi stuff. And I'm expecting 31 to be like a lot stronger because it's just going. It hurts to see how much you don't care. I also like, I do like the Flame Chasers a lot. And I don't want them to go away, although I know probably by the end of this we're going to delete the whole Elysian Realm and like Klein's going to be the only one left. But I really, really do, and I think part of why I've been struggling with the rest of this arc is I just want to get back to the Hyperion crew. I care so deeply about what's going on with them, especially Kiana and Sela. I remember when Bronya was my favorite character in this game, and then she's done nothing since then. It's unfortunate. Man, though, the glow up on Kiana, which, speaking of glow up on Kiana, her new battle suit looks great. I'm really excited for it. I probably will try to roll for it. But yeah, I really want to get back to them. I want to see where Sela's arc is going, because there were a bunch of implications left on her. And I think a lot of my enthusiasm will kick back in once we get back to them. But yeah, I still really like these characters. This definitely does feel like such a side story to the plot. Which, because it is, right? It is not pushing the... Well, I guess that's not even true anymore, actually, though, because the Hurt of Corruption's here. I don't know, because I really do like this arc. I have been thinking about the Flame Chasers constantly. I just think it's so long, and how much I want to get back to the Hyperion crew is part of my issue with it. It's still been one of the, like, better written parts of it when it's actually doing something. Because like I said, everything with Vilvi was incredible. One of my favorite parts of HI3 so far. Stop the act. You'll clearly know you're not her. Well then, no need to keep up the show, it seems. Hydrate. I will hydrate. Hey, Rika. No Rika stream today? Oh yeah, that does remind me. I will be on Rika's channel on Sunday at around 3 p.m. I don't know. Sometimes you stream on weird days, Rika. But yeah, we'll be playing with Rika on Sunday. It'll be fun. Rika's cool. Go say hi to Rika. She's doing a big stream on Sunday. I can't believe my friend would betray me like that. I really trusted Vilvi. Trust? I wouldn't call it that.
そんなことを言わない
Don't say that,
で
May.
愛しい
I've
ね
seen you in her memory. She's quite fond of you.
あら怒ってる変ねあなたのよく知ってる姿
What's wrong?
あなた
I'm
の好む
making a
呼び
familiar
名で
face
呼ん
and
であげ
voice,
て
but
るの
you
に
seem happy at
どう
all.
して少しも喜んでないの
It won't be like Dokapon level of torture. I don't know if Rika has said what it's gonna be, so I don't want to say too much of it. But it will definitely be torture. It'll be something. She will drive. I will be screaming. It's okay. Rika said it. Yeah, we're gonna be playing Uno for like 3 hours. She's gonna be playing Uno for like 6 hours. I'm gonna be playing with it for her for like 3 hours. It's Hope and Hunin with me. There's gonna be yelling. There's gonna be screaming involved. But yeah, Hope Boy will be there. People that have watched my stuff know Hope Boy. We love Hope. And Hunin, who I know Hunin. I have talked to Hunin a bit. But I don't think on my channel Hunin has ever gotten play. But Hunin does a bunch of stuff with Rika. Hunin's pretty cool. I don't think Hunin will lose their sanity to the same level that I definitely will. I also don't think Hunin will drive me insane in the same way that like Rika will. But it should still be, it'll be fun. And we haven't done stuff with Rika in a little bit, so I hope everyone will have a good time with that. What's wrong? I'm using I did read that.
なんだか
Almost like
私のこ
you
とが大
hate
嫌
me.
いみたい
I
ね
don't actually know what Vilvi said to
ビルビーが
you.
何を
But it
話したか
doesn't
知ら
matter.
ないけど
I look over the data when I have
大
time.
丈夫
Or I'll look over the
時
data
間
when I
も
have
そ
time.
の前にあらか
But
じめ
before
言っ
any
て
of
おく
that,
わね
you should know. I don't mean you any
私はあな
harm.
たに誠意を見せるために
Why
も
don't
う
we
一度
start
自己
over
紹
on
介
the
する
sign
わ
of
ね
good face?
私はね
I'll
生
go
と
first.
死の隙間に
I'm a
誕
very
生した
born
律
between
者
life and death.
情
I
報
live
と
on
データに
data
よって
and
生き
assume the
てて
physical form
実
of a
体を
certain
媒介
entity.
にしあなたたちがよく知っている言葉を
In
借りる
more familiar terms, her sheer corruption. That's me.
この呼び名は
I
少
think
し
that
荒
name
っ
is
ぽ
still a
い
bit
と思うん
crude,
だけどね
though. Why did you take Alicia's form?
ふーん
Is that
メイ
what
が
you
気
care
にしてい
about?
るのは
It's
そんな
easy,
ことな
really.
の
Other than the
理由
familiarity
は
it
単
makes you
純よ
feel.
今の私の見た
Oh,
目
this
は
look is very
グ
cute
ー
on
にい
me.
て可愛いと思
No.
わない
Like I said, she looks good in blue.
あらメイ
Oh, come on,
そん
May.
な目で見な
Don't
い
look at
で
me
よ
like that. I mean it.
まさか私が
Just because
新
of the
職の
Hershey
律者だ
corruption,
か
I
ら
can't choose
見
my
た
own
目を選ぶ
appearance.
権利なんてないとでも思ってるの
Die. That is happening. There is a button to terminate your life in this. It surprises me you'd say that.
だって
That wasn't as loud
彼女の
as
デー
it
タを
should be.
も
I
ら
think
った
I
から
moved that to mix it up, but that didn't seem as loud as it used to be. Now I'll fix it later. She pointed at her own
メイ
cheeks.
なら私
You
よ
should
り
know
知ってる
better
で
than
し
me
ょ
that nobody cherished her
世界
unique
で
beauty
唯
more
一
than
無二の
herself.
この
What does
美
it
し
mean
い
now?
外見
Wait, she said she took over Alicia's data. Vivi said her data was deleted. Why would the Herrscher of corruption tell such an obvious lie?
外からのデータを受
Except
け入れ
outside
ると
data
同時
allows me to grow.
に私も成長命があるから
Because
死
of
を
with
恐れる
life,
ことを
I
学
learned
ん
to
だ
fear death. With
形
form,
もあ
I
るか
began to
ら
pursue beauty.
美しさを
And
求
with
めることを理
nothingness,
解
I was
し
to
た
cherish everything.
虚無で誕生した私は
Born from
生きる
nothingness,
意味をゆっ
I'm
く
learning
り
what
と
it
理
means to
解し
live.
ようとしてる
It would be a mistake to
私
see
を
me as
単
an
なる
enemy
人
of
類の敵だ
humanity.
と考えたら
A mistake.
そう
Yeah, I
私は
didn't
楽
invade
園
the
に
Elysian
侵
realm.
入した
After all,
そ
my
れは弁
existence is
解
built
しよう
upon
がない事
corruption.
実でもねメイ
But
私は
May,
誰
I
かに
never
危
meant to
害を
harm,
加え
cause
るよう
harm
な
at
考えな
anyone
んて
harm.
一度も
Even
持
if
っ
they're
た
just
ことがない
memory sins
の
made by data.
事実もそうでしょ
I speak the truth.
ほら
Look,
楽
nothing
園
in
に
the
ある
Elysian
あら
realm has
ゆるものは
disappeared.
一度も
Well,
消
except
え
for
て
the
ない
parts
じゃ
that
ない
Calpus blew up.
あなたのよく知ってる形として存在してる
Maybe
わ
they're
け
no
じゃな
longer
い
the
けど
form you'd recognize,
今
but they're still
彼ら
around,
は私たちの
right? She pointed at her
こ
forehead.
こにね
Here.
侵食が完
After the
了し
corruption is
た
done, they become part of me.
彼らは
Or
私の
rather,
一
I
部に
become
なった
part of them. Yeah, she's eating them.
対等に私も彼らの一部になったの
Although that sounds more like she's like taking them over, which I mean she is, but so like, is there gonna be a Calpus form?
かつての私は一面の
Because I
空
was
白だ
once
ったから
a
こそ
tabula rasa? I don't
彼
know
ら
what
の
that
全
is.
てを受け入れられた。
Tabula rasa. The Latin phrase that translates to blank slate and refers to the idea that people are born without any innate mental content. Okay. I guess that's fitting here.
私は彼らのデータを得て
I received the data, understood their experiences,
その感情と意志
and
を
inherited
受け継
their
いだ。
emotions and will. I can
だから、
read.
私を英傑たちの命の続きだと思っていい
So
か
you
ら
can see
ね。
me as a continuation of the
そう
Flame
言った
Chasers.
方が
Doesn't that
メイ
cheer
に
you
もっと
up?
喜んでもらえるのかしら。
No. You could have just left them as is. Cheer me up. Scene from the other day. The scene from the other day floated up her mind. Obituaries drifting like snowflakes, dots of light slipping from her palms. I get why the Hersher of Corruption is doing this, and that, like, why they're... Because they need to do this to, like, gain more self, to become more of a functioning being. That was kind of what the segment we saw last time was saying, where it was gaining these experiences by, like, consuming more data, right? But what, like, well, I was gonna say, couldn't you have just like asked to stay here? But I actually, upon saying that all these people hate Hershers, I don't know how that would work. Although I guess they appreciate they let May in. But they let May in because Kevin let her in. Maybe that wouldn't have actually worked. May lowered her eyelids, hiding her anger. We invaded this place, manipulated everything, trampled over the last remnants of these heroes. They died before my very eyes, and you've the gall to tell me your continuation of their lives? Oh, fine then. Just no matter what I say, you'll always see me as the villain. Since you're looking for a fight so badly, I guess I have no other choice. Last thing I want is to disappoint. So you're finally revealing your true colors. I don't get why you're putting on such an innocent face, but it ends here. I don't want to fight you at all. It's pointless. We shouldn't be enemies. But I know you're the type of girl that gets right to the bottom of things. So I'm happy to show you the power of corruption and put all my cards in your hand, one by one. And to prove to you that before your eyes is the real me. Now, first. Oh, hi, Mobius. This is a similar battle when you came to the Elysian Realm not too long ago, right? Using the secret of Mantis' bait, luring you in and attempting to replace you. Mobius and I think alike, but you're more lenient with her than you are with me. Yeah, because you didn't kill her friends. Or Mobius didn't kill her friends. Kalpis next. Wow, you're evenly matched. You should be proud of yourself. Now, I'll refer to this data. Oh no, okay, see Alicia. No, yeah, okay, it's Kalpis. She accepted death's inevitability, and so she asked Kalpis for death. I was shocked when I saw it. You're so bold, May. Oh. How much I do? I want to fight a Hersher to the death. Wait, who asked Kalpis for death? I hate to see anything scar May's beautiful body, so I have no choice but to suppress his urge. You mean Mobius? Or she doesn't mean Sakura. Because Kalpis was trying to figure out what happened to her. And he can't mean Lisa.
また引き分けね
Yet another tie. Next, I'll call this one a fight. How is it a tie if I'm winning?
ビルビーのいたずらはかなり迷惑だ
Well,
っ
these
たけ
tricks
ど
caused me a ton of
そ
trouble.
れでも彼
But I still
女のこと
consider her a
を
good
友
friend.
人だと思ってるわこの素晴らしい演出
This
は
magnificent performance is brought to you by the great magician, the
大
expert.
変
Oops,
よ
I
く
can't
覚えて
recall.
ないわ
Also,
でも大丈夫
no matter, everybody Vilvi's data is mine.
私
It's the
と
same
一
with
つにな
other,
ってる
with other Sims.
他の記憶体たちと同じようにね
I'm realizing the only ones that she's
ここまでにしましょう
gotten are the ones that had fights. Although no, Sakura was also erased by her, right?
これでメイも理解で
I
きた
didn't
は
see
ず
a
でしょ
point this is kind of fighting
こんな
is.
戦いに結果が
Because
な
like
い
she's not using Kevin, who does have a fight. Because Kevin was put into the Kevin killer. And we haven't done the Alicia fight. Although my theory was that she's in the sword. But I don't know if that's true anymore either.
でもチャンスなんてないと
You know,
知り
there's
ながら
nothing you
も
can do.
何度
And
も
you
何
come
度も
again and
私に攻
again.
撃を仕
I
掛け
like
る
that about you. Fighting like this is just a game to her. But this illusion's strengths, so real. Could it be that in the data space she's invincible? She can wield any data she corrupts. She gets her greatest strength from the Elysian Realm's data. That means I can't easily use my authority of conquest on her, as with the puppets. I don't know enough about her corrupting power. I only have one chance, and should I fail... Suddenly a sharp pain struck her head. May stumbled and grit her teeth as she choked back a cry. The Hersher of Corruption's voice still reached her ears, but was muffled by the
ほら
pain.
言
See,
ったでしょ
I told you before I
メ
wasn't
イに
gonna
危
hurt
害を
you.
これで信じてくれる
Now
か
do
し
you
ら
believe me?
私
We
たち
aren't
は敵
enemies.
同士じゃ
In
ない
fact, it's the
む
opposite.
しろその逆
Hi. She watched as the Hersher of Corruption's lips kept moving, but there was like a barrier around her voice, such that it couldn't be heard. What's going on? My head is pounding. Was it that fight? Was I corrupted? No. If I was corrupted like the memories, she would have shut up a long time ago. Besides, she doesn't seem to notice what's going on. Is Sue doing something? Wait, this feeling. Amid the pains coming and going, a few words of advice flashed in her mind.
でも今の君はま
No,
だ
okay,
気
it's
づいて
something
な
from
いでしょ
Billy. But you might not understand just how, just how critically you are to the entire plan.
大丈
But
夫
Sue will help you understand. I hope
ス
you
ー
got
な
my
ら
message.
これが全てのパズルだよ
There's all the pieces to the puzzle.
さあ
Take it, mate. The real inscription of
これ
Helix.
が私が
This
完成
isn't the
させられ
southern
る
voice that I was doing
全て
for
の
her.
配置だ
My consistency on some of these voices is terrible. That's all I can do. Whatever I'm capable of, you are too.
全ての謎
So
を
go and solve all these puzzles. Filthy, the signal of Helix is doing something to my consciousness. After she realized this, the pain began to subside like a wave returning to the sea. She could hear clearly again.
本
Are
当
you
に
really
私と
giving
ちゃ
me
ん
the
と話す
silent
気は
treatment,
ない
May?
のあなたの欲しい答えは
Everything you want to
全部
know, I can tell
私が
you. Looks like I need to stall her until I meet up with Sue. Finally, an opportunity. I'm not looking for advice. You didn't give me any other option, did you? I knew a cold-faced but warm-hearted girl like May wouldn't have the heart to turn me down.
見たじゃあ
Where to
どこ
begin?
から話しましょ
I'll
う
have to give it some thought.
ちゃんと考えな
Oh,
くちゃ
I know. I'll start with what you want to know most. Snap. With the snap of her fingers, the amusement park began to change form. When the lights were on once more, everything was different. A Ferris wheel?
エリシアはこう話
Alicia
したで
probably
しょ
told you.
一緒にメームに
We'll go
包
to
まれ
that
たあの
foggy
島に
island
行って
where the final banquet
最後
took
のパー
place
ティーがあっ
and
た
witness
場
the
所で
birth and death of the
共に見
13th
届
Hersher
けましょう
together.
さあメイ
Come, May.
あの
Let's
時
be
の
good on
約
that
束こ
promise.
れからは互いをさらけ
Now's
出す
the
時間
time
よ
to really open up to one another. Just like
デートみたいにね
Why is the sound gone? Also, why is this Ferris wheel moving so fast? This would be the worst Ferris wheel. This is what it looks like up here on the Ferris wheel.
記憶の中にも似たよう
I've
な場
seen
面があ
similar
ったけど
scenes from memory,
やっ
but
ぱ
our
り自分
experience
で
at
体
first
験
hand
す
is
ると
completely
全然違う
different.
一見こういった意味の
I
ない
almost
よ
get
う
why
に
they
見える
needed
内容
space
を
just to store all
彼
the
女
seemingly
がわざわざ
meaningless,
空間を
meaningless
作って
stuff.
までねえメイ
Come on,
そんな
May,
厳
don't be
しい
such a
表情しないで
sourpuss.
私とロマンチッ
Right,
クな観覧車デー
extreme
トをする
chiropractic.
それって楽しいことじゃないの？
Chiropractic? Is that? Sure. I need that. I need extreme chiropractic. Wouldn't it be a lot of fun just to have a romantic date with me on the Ferris wheel?
ま
Oh,
さ
don't
か
tell me you're surprised I
観
can pull
覧
a
車を
Ferris
一
wheel
瞬
with
で
thin
出し
air,
たこと
thin
に驚い
air.
てるの
Just me and her child coming out to help liven up the
こ
journey.
のた
Liven up? You mean showing off? It seems like you keep making your control over the Elysian realm crystal clear. Oh, May. If you keep making me out to be the bad guy, it's gonna hurt my
あ
feelings.
なたなら私の
I
立
thought
場で
you'd
考
understand
えを
where I'm
理解
coming
してく
from.
れ
At
る
least because
友達にな
become
れ
my
ると思
friend.
ったのに
After all, we're really the
That's-
same. The same? Perhaps you've forgotten the girl you're pretending to be is also the same. Why did you erase Alicia's memory? Lily told me out of all the data, only Alicia's was completely erased by you. I assumed it was because she was a Hersher. But what you're telling me now suggests the opposite. How can I not be suspicious? What is it about Alicia that scares you so much? Okay, no, this is going back to what I said before. All of the other Hershers are human, so they probably have something imparted by Alicia to the current generation of humans. The Hersher of Corruption not being human means, like, they don't have whatever that is. Potentially, if this is going where I think it's going now, actually, Alicia could impart it on them. And the Hersher of Corruption is, like, worried that that would change what they are. Maybe.
わかったわかったわリルビーがそこまで教えたなら
Since Philly's already
これ以
told you,
上
I guess there's no
隠す
point
必
in
要も
hiding
ない
it.
わ確かに私は
I did
エ
delete
リシア
Alicia's
のデー
data.
タを削
As
除
for
した
why,
特別な理由はな
it wasn't
く
for any particular reason.
ただの
It
事
was
故
an
だったの
accident. I'll believe you. An accident?
メイ
May, you're
私
well
が
aware
エ
about
リシア
King
の
Elysian
楽園に
realm,
来たかっ
yes?
てあの時私の
Back
律
then,
者
my
とし
dream
て
to
の
become a Hersher,
というより
or better yet, becoming
一つ
alive
の
had just
命と
begun.
幼い子供のように
Like a child, I have an
世界を
infinite
よく知らず
mechanical understanding of
機
the
械
world
的な
around me.
認識しかな
My
か
only
っ
emotion and instinct is a desire to
た
live.
生きたそんな状況の
It
中
was
で
it was in such a state
私は
that
彼
I
女
met
と出会
her.
う彼女は楽園で
She
初
was
め
the
て
first
顔を合
person
わ
I
せ
came
た相手
across.
で
The first
初めて
existence
出会
outside
った
myself.
私以
At
外
a
の
time
存
when I
在
couldn't distinguish friend and foe.
でも
It'd be better for you to see what
その
happened
後に
afterwards for
何が
yourself.
メイも私と同じ立場になれば
It may ruin my
きっとわ
shoes.
かると思うわ
She'd understand. Darkness came from all sides and enveloped May
あの
completely.
時の私がどれ
I
だ
was
け
such a
慌てて
handful
た
back
かを
then.
そ
And
して今
now,
の私
I'm
が
filled with remorse. What am I? She didn't feel anything strange, but everything in front of her began to silently change. The hush of corruption rewrote the environment. Just another sign that here in the world of data, her power is unlimited. What are you trying to do?
心配しないで
Don't worry,
メイ
May. I just want to show
あ
you
の夜
what sort of
私の前
choice
に
was
置かれ
thrust
た
on
の
me
は
that evening. I feel like Sakura is going to be involved here. Because Alicia wouldn't have been threatening,
見せて
but
ちょうだい
Sakura would
メ
have been.
イあなたなら
Well then,
どん
let's see what
な
choice you
選択肢を
make, May.
選ぶの
Choice? You didn't even tell me what's going on.
生活というものにはもともと説明なんてそんなにないでしょ
Can you feel it?
感じてないの
The drive to kill,
空
the
気の
threat of
中の
death,
殺意
they're all there.
死の脅威はそこにいるのよ
Sakura was the first to realize the Hersher of corruption was here, and went after her.
やっぱ
Oh,
りそ
so
うなる
that's
わ
how
よ
it
ね
is. May made the same
メ
choice
イ
as
は
I
私
did.
と同じ選択をしたわ戦った
You
そう
acted,
でしょ
didn't you? You
全
destroyed
て
all
の
the
敵を
enemies.
倒してけど気づい
But
て
didn't
る
you see? I
相
never
手は
had
最
any
初
intent
か
of
ら
attacking
あ
you.
なたを攻撃するつもりなんてないのよこれでメイも
I should
当
help
時
you
の私
understand
が
just
ど
what
う
kind
い
of
う状況
situation I
に
was
置かれ
in.
ていたか。一方は異物に対
There's
す
the
る
fear of
恐
the
怖、
unknown and desire to
もう
survive.
一方は
It's too
自分を
enticing for
守り
someone
たい
so young
生
and
存
feeble.
欲。メイが見た通り、
As
当
you
時の
saw,
私
she
は
didn't
何
fight
の
back.
抵抗も受けなか
What
っ
a gift
た。
proof she had no ill will
今
towards
思い
me.
返すと残念ながら
Unfortunately,
私が
I
それを
only
理
realized
解
that
したの
after
は
acquiring more data
よ
and
り多
growing.
くのデータを吸収。
You only attacked Elise on instinct. What happened after that? You didn't stop there. After acquiring all the information and power over the realm, everything else just a matter of instinct too.
あの事故があった後、
After that, I
私
hibernated.
は隠れる
There
こと
was no
に
fear
し
to
たの。
complete my metamorphosis.
本来ならそうする
That
つ
was
も
my
りだっ
original
たけ
intent.
ど、
I had no
ま
idea
さ
Alicia's
かエリシア
disappearance
の
would have
消
such a
失が
rippling effect.
これほど。その上、強い
Another
力
force
が
posing
現
an
れ
even
た。
greater threat had emerged.
ケビンは
Kevin,
今までよりもずっと
Once he
強
knew
い脅
about
威を
me,
もたら
I
した
was sure
の。
all that awaited was my
彼に
demise.
気づかれ
You're
たら
skipping over
私を
Sakura.
待ってるのは一晩で私は非難の的になったの。
At once, I began to feel like I
メイ
had a
は
target on
そう
my
いう
back.
感覚を理
I know
解で
what
き
it's
る。
like, May.
孤独で
Loneliness, fear,
怖くて
remorse,
悔し
and
くて、
confusion.
それから
Confusion.
そんな時ビルビー
It was in the Vilvi.
うん
The evil reached out
悪
to
に
me.
彼女は私と同じ感情
He
を
had the same impulse to
生き
survive,
たい
and
と
so
い
we
う意
became
志を持って
friends.
た。
She would give me new
だから
opportunities
友達になっ
and
た
would
の。
help her solve
でも
difficulties.
残念だけど
But there were two
二つの
unexpected
予想外の
variables.
ことが起き
One
た
of
の。
them was Calpus. Calpus. He's already...
彼が起こした騒
He
ぎ
was
は
making so
あ
much
ま
of
り
a
にも大
ruckus.
きかっ
So
た。
I had to meet him for myself.
幸い仙号はとても率
Luckily,
直な
Calpus
人で
can be
ね、
pretty straightforward.
楽しく話
So
せ
we
た
had
わ
a pretty
よ。
good conversation. I bet Calpus welcomed you with open arms. Which is to say, he wasn't aware of the hush of corruption. So what did he do to cause confrontation?
もう一つの予想
It was
外。
another accident. It was
あな
you,
たよ。
May.
最初私は
I didn't
確か
trust
に
you
あ
at
なたを
first.
警戒して
So
た
when
わ。
the evil went to put a plan in
だ
place,
から
I
悪人
didn't
の
do
あの
anything to
計
stop
画をレ
her.
ドメイは
But
あ
you
まりに
managed
も見事
everything
に
so
危機
well.
を出した
Taking care of her in a way that
そ
I
れ
didn't
だ
even
けじゃな
think
く
of.
そんな状況で
So
メイ
how
の
could I
前に
keep
現
from
れ
wanting to
ない
meet
方
you?
がおかしいと
To
思
meet someone that
う。
was able to get through the evil,
あの悪
to
人の
dissolve her
心の
drive to
壁を
survive. Had she not had time to assimilate Filthy's data, hasn't discovered Filthy's original self. It looks like there are corners in the realm that are beyond her perception's reach. So that's your defense, then? Causing harm just to feed your desire for life. There's nothing to say about that, but you ought to know. Any action comes at a
結論を
cost.
急がないでメ
You shouldn't
イ。
jump to conclusions, May.
人類という視点から考
From a human
えると
perspective,
命
life
の
ends
終
with
点
death.
は死。
But memories are
だけど
different.
記
The
憶
data
体は違
embodied,
う。
a form of existence
彼らは
separate
デ
from
ータを
life.
具現だからこそ
And so I,
私は
and only I, can
復活させられ
bring
る
them
の。
back from death.
こうしてね。
Like this. There we go. That's what I was doing. Filthy.
どうしたの
What's
メ
wrong,
イ
mate?
浮
Why
か
a
ない
sad
顔をするなん
face?
て。ほら
The
天才は
ability
不
of
滅で
ego
しょ
shouldn't be confined to just one
私
space.
の才
Be
能
the
は
dark recess of
狭
the
い場所
mind
に
or a
制限
virtual
される
space
べきじゃ
comprised
な
of
い。
data.
ビルビー
It's
の
still
舞台は
terrible. It's still
この
terrible
世
voice.
界のはずだ。
Filthy should take the entire world as a stage.
今度こそ
Now
私は
ego
永
can
遠を
last
手に
forever
入れる。
till each and every idea
す
is
べて
fully
の発想を
realized.
どうこう
Can
いう
the
シナリ
script
オなら
satisfy
メイ
you,
を
man?
満足させられるかしら。私の分隊とともに
Filthy's data
ビ
will
ルビー
continue
の
to
デー
spread
タを
through
外
me.
へと拡散
So long as I have a
蔓
backup,
延
she
さ
can
せ続
continue
け
to
るの。
evolve.
この時代が彼女の理念を
I think
認め
he's
て
too
くれな
forward
い
for
の
this
なら
era. So
次
must
の
be
時代
preserved
ま
for
で
the
続い
next
てい
one.
けばこの世界が彼女の命を維
This
持で
world's
きない
gonna
な
hold
ら
her.
世
So
界
change
を
the
変え
world to
て
be the one that
そ
can.
れをそうすれば素敵な大
That'll
発
allow
明
the
家はその
fantastic
願いを
inventor
全部叶え
inventor to realize her
最
every
終
wish
的
and
に
become
空
the
前
genius she
絶後
truly
の
is.
天才ワクワクする完璧な
It's the
結末
perfect
でし
ending,
ょ
no? No. In the real world, there is only one word for such a being. A virus.
ああ
Oh,
最
and
高
here
の
I
アイ
thought
デ
it
ア
was a
だ
good
って思
idea.
った彼らのデータを楽園から
Take the
持ち
data
出
from the
し
realm and realize
生
their
前
wishes.
の願いを
Didn't
叶え
Mobius
る
have the same idea?
メビウ
I
スだっ
just turned
て
it
そ
into
う考え
reality.
てた
Well, if
Yeah.
May isn't happy, maybe we can
別の方法に変えましょ
try
う
something else. What? The scene before May's eyes had changed yet again, revealing an incredible sight and a more incredible person. Calpus.
どうした
What's
後が
wrong?
豆鉄砲を
You
食らっ
look
たような
like
顔
you've
し
seen
て
a ghost.
こんなところで俺に会う
There's
ことが
something weird about
そ
me
んな
being
におか
here.
しいか
Like that, Yeah. He tugged at
う
his
るさ
collar.
い。
This
なん
is
で俺は
stupid.
ここで
Do I really
バ
have to
カた
waste
ちと
my
わけの
time
わから
on
ない
these
ゲームをしないと
games?
今日があの女の誕生日だ
Just
から
because it's a lady's birthday. It's about time you stop this farce, Hersher of corruption.
律者
Hersher.
すでに
Why
完全
bring
に
up
消
what
滅
has
し
been
た
completely
あんな
wiped
もの
out?
だが
But
数年ぶりにその
hearing
名
that
前を
name
聞い
again
て
after all these years
少
gives
し
me
う
an itch
ず
for
うずしてきた
battle.
な暇ならさっさと着替え
If
て
you're free,
お
call
前の
everyone
知
you
り合い
know
を
and
全
let's
員呼んで
fight.
ライデン
Raiden May.
驚く必要はないわ。
What are you
これが
surprised
聖
about?
母の望んだ
This is what
生
I've
活な
Kappas
の。
wanted.
変わらない生活。
A
戦え
life
る
without
相
change.
手。
A good
それから
rival. And
家
a
と
place to
呼
call
べる場
home.
所。彼はそんな単純な
He
人
really
よ。
is a simple man.
残念
It's
な
a
こと
shame
に
so many people
大
didn't
多数
get
の
that.
人ほらメイ
It can
互
be
いを
really
理解
hard
す
to
る
fully
なんて
understand
難
one
しいで
another.
しょう
Even
共に
in
生
those
死をかけ
closest
て
to
戦
us,
った戦
there's no
友で
corners
も
of the heart we can
数
never
万
know.
年のでもデータは嘘をつかない私が見ることができる世界はあなた
Daddy
たちと
doesn't
は
lie.
全然違
The
う
world
の
I'm able to see differs greatly from yours.
私だけが
Only
本
I
当
can
の意味
understand
で
them.
彼らを理解で
Only I
きる
can produce the future they
彼
wish
ら
for.
が憧れる未来
Only
を与え
I. Suddenly, the surrounding illusion collapsed with a loud bang, revealing the Hersher's shocked
あな
face.
た
You.
メ
Oh, I
イ
get a bit emotional whenever I'm
何度も
interrupted.
まさか
It
メイは
can't
根に持
be.
つタイプ
You just like the future
私
I
が
planned
戦
for
法のために
Calbus,
作っ
can
た
it? Drop the act. And quit imitating. You're just cementing what a bad actor you are.
エリシア
Alicia.
結
all
局
comes
彼
back
女
to
の
her,
話に
no.
戻っ知ってるわ
I know she's
メイの
special
中
to
で
you.
彼女は特別な存在だ
She felt you felt
メ
she
イが
deserved
不
a
公
better
平に
ending.
感じだけどそれは
Yes,
少し
it's
無理
very
なのよ
difficult. I can only
私
restore her
にで
data
きる
using
のは
other memories of
他
myself
の
as
記
a
憶と
template.
その結果は見て
So
の
what you're
通
looking
り
at is the limit of
今
what I
の
can do.
姿私は頑張って彼
Try
女
my
になる
hardest to
わ
become her.
彼
Tell
女
her
の考
thoughts and
え
my
が
thoughts,
私の考
and my
え
voice be and
彼
her
女の
voice be
声
my
は
voice.
私たちは同じ
We
顔
have the same
同
face, the
じ
same
性格
personality, the
そし
same
て同じ
memories.
記憶を持
If
って
you
る
want, we can relive those memories
Maybe
all over
no
again. Enough. The more you pretend to be her, the clearer it is that you and her are nothing alike. Do you know what to know what she would have done? I assume this is supposed to be, do you want to know what she would have done?
へえ
Oh. It's a shame that conversation will never happen. She would never want to disappoint anyone. You desperately try to imitate her, insulting whatever trace of her is left in that world again and again, all for yourself. Just to activate a long-failed Kevin killer. Suddenly, the air around the Ferris wheel froze. That's all you're afraid of. The only thing in the Elysian realm that can wipe you out for good. The call to stop the Elysian realm from existing is neither decided by unanimous decision nor majority voting. It all comes down to Alicia's will, right? You tried your hardest to imitate Alicia just to get hold of the sheer power of the Kevin Killer Mark 666.
メイは本当
Hey,
に
you
賢い
really
女
are
の
one
子だ
smart
ね
girl.
その通り
That's right.
確か
I
に
never
想
thought the
像もしていな
unprecedented
かった
genius that is Vilvi
リ
would
ルビ
leave
ーのよ
behind
うな
such an
珍
amazing
しい
gift.
古の楽園を
What
丸ご
about
と
the
一発
entire realm
削
with the
除す
click
る
of a button?
な
That's
ん
quite
て
the
偉大なはず
invention.
だけど
But it
それが
seems
ど
you
うし
got
たと
one
いうの
thing wrong, May.
私は主導権を
I
奪
didn't
う
want
ん
to
じゃ
take
な
the
くて
power. I wanted to create it.
確かにエリシアは
Alicia was all that
対
was
ケビ
needed
ン
to
武装を
activate the
起動
Kevin
させる
Killer.
唯一の条
But now
件
she
だ
is
ったけど
gone, and the only person who should get to control it is me.
私はとても気が
I have
長いから
patience and spades.
その主導
I'll take
権を
control
少し
of
ず
a
つ
little
得
at
る
a
ことが
time.
そこに至るまで
In the meantime,
楽園の
I'll
一層
slowly
一
corrupt
部
every inch of
一
the
中一
Elysian
重を
realm.
メイその
And
時
guess what
私
sort of
は
ending waits when
楽
I'm
園
done
の
with
人
all
々
that?
にど
Uh-oh. The Ferris wheel made a quiet noise and stopped. The sky became dark and ominous. It must be a lie. If that were true, why would she be preoccupied with me? But it's clear she's afraid. Afraid of a possibility that could put a stop to her. And if that's the case, now's my chance. I have to convince her that I've figured out how to undo what she's done. This opportunity may be my only shot.
どうなのメイ
Well, May,
黙り込んじゃって
nothing to say.
どう反応すべきか考えて
Or
る
perhaps
それとも
you agree with
い
me.
や
I was just thinking, you really should delete Alicia's memory. If not to live, even just for your own sake. That I can't lie. You know that better than anyone. And if you go through her life, you'll see. Even if you can replace her looks, her behavior, her every word, you'll still never be her. Ka-ching. You'll never, ever be her. The darkness enveloped them like vines creeping in the shadows. May slowly rose amid the endless darkness as though waking up from a long dream, which was an experience that had been etched into every stage of her life. A dull glow floated in the distance. Oops. Like the remains of a soul. She reached out towards the light. Where am I? I remember being on the Ferris wheel, lunging at the Hersh of Corruption, and then...
はあ
Oh,
何を
look
して
at
く
what
れた
you've
かわか
done! Hersh of Corruption.
そんなに警戒する
You don't
必
need
要
to be
は
so
ない
defensive. To be
本音を言う
honest,
と
I don't feel like
今
arguing
は
with you
喧
at
嘩
all.
をするメイは高い場所で
May,
危険
even
な
you're
真
not
似を
dumb
し
enough
な
to
いって
try to
い
pull
う
some
基本
stunt at
的な
this
常
height.
識も知らないの
At this height,
高い
I
空から
would
落ち
prefer
る
not
な
to
んて
experience a fall like that
もう二度
twice.
と経験したくないまあいいメイは気が焦ってた
I
っ
get
て
it.
ことに
I'll
してお
chalk
く
it
よ
up to you being eager.
とにかく
Anyway, now that we're here,
私たちは
are you
目的地に着
satisfied?
い
May looked around and instantly understood. I assume this is where Alicia was deleted? Oh, no, okay. We're on the island that Alicia was going to take us to. And is this that island shrouded by mist?
その通り
Yeah?
同
That
時
should
にあ
put
ら
an
ゆる
end to
疑
your
問にけりを
doubts.
つけられ
Wouldn't
る
you
場
say
所でもある
so?
ってあなたは考えてるでも残念ながら
But as you can
見て
see,
の
there's
通りこ
nothing
こに
here.
は何も
I've
な
had it
い
in my back pocket
と
for
っ
so
くに
long.
私の所有物
Evidences
にな
you're
ってる
looking
からメ
for.
イの探してた答
I'm
え
certain
は
they've never
最
existed.
初から
Well,
存在
that's
しない
definitely not true. Impossible.
メイ
May,
い
when
つ
did
から
you
彼
begin
女
to
のこ
trust her
とを
so
そんなに
much?
信用する
That's
よう
not
になっ
like
たの
you. Yes,
あ
it
なたら
is.
しくないよ
I think this is an outsider's perspective. It's like big mistake on May and her personality. May has absolute trust in her allies. Be it Kiana, be it Branya, be it Raven and Kevin. She is still suspicious of Kevin, I think, but she has absolute faith in them. This was depicted really well in the Herrscher of Dominance arc, where she went to help Kiana, but didn't need to, like, I think it was to the Herrscher of Dominance that she said directly, like, I don't need to see Kiana. I know that me giving her this opportunity will be enough to do what she needs to do. I believe she said to Raven at some point, like, me and Kiana are separated, but, like, we still understand each other, we still understand each other's goals and what we need to do. Like, May has incredible trust in people when she gets, like, close to them. Maybe this is implying that, like, May doesn't get close to people quickly, but that's also not even true, because she got really close to Raven really quickly. And, like, the amount Alicia was talking to her, the amount they, like, got along, and the amount Alicia was able to, like, just push her way in past the brutish outer shell of May, like, it makes absolute sense that May would have complete trust in Alicia. And also, it's not in Alicia's personality to lie. Like, the implication here is that the Herrscher of Corruption is like, oh, there never was anything that she was going to tell you. But then why would she have, like, set up everything and said everything that she did? She wouldn't have. She would have just told... she would have told May that there wasn't anything to tell? And Kevin would have never sent her here, if that were true.
少しも疑わなかった？あの
Did you
日
not
彼女
suspect
が
that when
明か
she
した
told you the
真
truth?
相
She
は
might have been holding something
本
back.
当は全部
No.
じゃないかもしれないよ。
Well, also, May has known when things are being held back. Like, she knew when everyone in the Elysian realm was hiding stuff from her, be it Alicia herself or the other characters. And that was why she confronted Alicia about it, and Alicia was going to tell her everything. I found the answer to that question in time, but not now, and certainly not with you. I know what you're after, and I would give you the opportunity to learn more about her past. I feel like the Hersher of Corruption has a, like, surface level understanding of people, which makes sense, right? Because like they said, they are newborn, they're trying to learn stuff about, like, the world and people around them. But it has such a surface level understanding of May specifically. But I guess she's also showing that with the other characters. Because like May's saying, this is not Alicia. Even with Kalpis, that's not the life Kalpis would have lived. I don't know what Kalpis would have necessarily lived. But Kalpis is a tsundere more than anything. He would have stayed with the Flame Chasers. At the very least, he would have stayed with Sakura. If everything, like, worked out in the end. I think, anyway. Heiko.
メイ、
May,
その言葉に
It hurts
私
when
が
you say
傷つい
stuff
て
like
るこ
that.
とを今までの戦いで
after your last
メ
couple
イは学
fights,
習し
I
たと
thought you
思
were
ってたの
smarter than that.
勝てない敵に挑戦しない
Don't take on an
それ
unbeatable
が生
foe.
きるための
That's the
知
key
恵
to survival,
違
isn't
う
it? Really? As I remember it, that's a strange conclusion to have reached. Are you really as infallible as you claim to be? Hersher of Corruption? Also, okay, so yeah, one, there's nothing indicating that the Hersher of Corruption is invincible, but also, May went up against the Hersher of the Void, who is incredibly strong, like, without a thought, took on Raven, who was, I mean, Raven, I guess there were signs that, like, you could beat them, they were just a human, and then went into the Hersher of Dominance, which is almost the most seemingly unbeatable enemy that we'd seen at this point. Like, May is not one to run away from a confrontation just because it seems hopeless or hard to beat. She even confronted the will of the Honkai.
分かった
Well then, if
メ
May
イが
wants
ど
to
うして
learn
も
the
痛
hard
みに
way,
合わないと
I'm
学
happy
習
to
しな
teach
い
a
というの
lesson.
なら私も愛の教育をせざるを得ないあらかじめ言っておくけど
Be warned,
今度は手加
I'll
減
go
し
easy
ない
on
よ
you this time around. It's like the Hersher of Corruption is... It has, like, some level of understanding of these people. But it's imparting its own, like, worries and insecurities onto everyone, or projecting them onto other people that don't have these issues. That don't have these feelings. Especially May and
前
Alicia.
と何も変わらない
You see,
こんな展
this
開
is
をあと
before.
何
How
回
many
繰り返
times
した
shall
ら
we
気が
repeat
済むの
this?
まだ飽きてないのメイ
Aren't you bored yet,
こ
May?
っちは退
I'm
屈
going
す
to
ぎてあく
yawn.
びが出ちゃいそうだけど
Also, if she has Evil Vildy's memories, like, is that so? Well, how about this? Evil Vildy also seemed insurmountable, and May didn't stop. And was trying to, like, deceive her during the partitioning. Surrounded by lightning, the blow broke the earth in two from top to bottom, leaving a huge rift from which icy blue data shot out.
へえ
Oh. Like I expected. After all the corruption, the realm isn't as stable as it once was. Data spaces can be fractured with the right technique. Two can play this game.
それに何の意 味はあ
That's
る
also literally what Kalpis was doing. He was just breaking it apart physically. What's your point? I don't know that May has the same level of destructive ability as Kalpis does, but it's pretty close. What's got you interested all of a sudden? The Hersher of Corruption blinked and was silent. I always wondered what Kalpis had done to make someone as cautious as you want to come out in person. From what I know of him, he'll only take the most direct and effective method: violence. Your existence relies on the Elysian realm. Any damage it takes, you take, right? Okay, so and that's why she had to go target Kalpis, because Kalpis was literally blowing up the Elysian realm.
わずかなヒントでそこまで考
I
え
figured
た
that out after
メイ
just
は
our
断りの
conversation.
律者の方が向
No
いて
wonder
るって
everyone says you make
み
a
んな
better
がそう
Hersher
言ってたと
reason.
思う楽園の空間にダメー
All
ジ
you
を与
need to
え
make
続け
me
れば
weaker is to attack the
私
realm.
の力を削る
That's
こ
an
とがで
interesting
きる
concept. Only... She casually ran 3 fingers past her eyes, and the fissure simply disappeared.
あんな一撃
Apple like that
100%
probably
の
uses
力が
10% of
必
your
要な
power,
んです
right?
メイは体力に自
How
信があ
confident
る
are
の
you in your strength, man?
力尽きて先に
Hard to
倒れ
say
る
whose
のは
body
ど
will
っ
give
ち
up
だと
first,
思う
As the only thing in the realm, as the only thing in the realm that can't be corrupted, you ought to know ought to know exactly what kind of threat I am to you. Alicia's been gone for a while, and yet only half the flame chasers are corrupted. Perhaps you aren't as strong as you had thought. I don't know what it takes to corrupt a more resolute will. Maybe it's effort, or maybe it's time. Either way, it can't be easy. Not to mention, you took on Alicia's appearance. I'm sure she has been a double-edged sword for you, hasn't it? To make sure you and her are the same, you have to behave just like she would. Otherwise, you'd lose control of the Mark 666. That's why you came to me first. To stall me, the only threat stronger than Kalpis. It is the only way to carry on your plan.
理にかなった推測
Reasonable
だ
enough.
でも
That's all.
それもここまで
I guess I really shouldn't
あ
say
んな
too
風
much
にた
about
く
you.
さんこのままだと
If
本
things
当
keep
に全
going
ての
like
手札
this,
をメイに
I'll
渡
show
し
you
てし
my
まうこと
entire
になる
hand.
でも
But
これ以上
even
私
if
の
you
弱
did
点
find
に
more
気
weak
づいても
points, you can't
楽
stop my
園に対
corruption
す
of
る
the
成
realm.
長力の差は補え
The gulf
ない
between us is simply too great. Perhaps. But I've accomplished what I set out to do. You're neither omniscient nor invincible. I'm satisfied having proven that much. You haven't noticed, have you? While we were talking, aftershocks from that blow spread all over the realm. And there are certain 2 people here who must have gotten my message. And now, they're on their way. A light appears in the distance. A dazzlingly white light that envelops
幸
everything.
いにもまだ遅くないようじゃ
Oh, Sakura is still alive? I think that was her voice, right?
今からやり直そうぞ
Seems like I'm not too late. So let's start from the
侵
beginning.
食の律者
Yeah, okay. Hush of corruption. So, okay, if Sakura's alive, where has she been?
それならさくら
Well then, Sakura,
昔のように
do you still want to believe me?
私を信じてくれる
Used to.
私のお願いだとでも
Please
思っ
don't
て
consider this my
それを
request.
す
どうしたのじゃエリシア
Alicia,
わらわに
is there something
話
you
した
want
い
to
こ
tell
とがあ
me?
る
The look on Sakura's face was hard to make out in the endless darkness. But the silhouette of the weapon at her side was clearly
少
defined.
し心配なの
My concern is
楽園
there
ではも
shouldn't be
う
any more need to
錠
use
剤
Seven
七
Thunders
台
of
を使う
Retribution
こ
here
と
in
な
the
んて
realm.
ない裏切り者なんて
There
ここ
aren't
にはい
traitors
ない
here.
わ
She was met with silence. After a short while, Sakura's
エ
voice
リ
rang
シ
out.
アわらわが
I
確
just
かめ
want
たい
to
ことは
confirm
ただ
one
一つ
thing, Alicia.
その後何が起
After
こる
that,
かは
I'm sorry.
す
I
まん
cannot promise what happens
今
next.
いいわ
It's fine. I
ガー
like
ルズト
chatting
ー
with
クは
friends.
大歓迎よ
What is it you want to know?
そうある少女につい
It's
てじゃ
about a girl. I want to hear it from your own mouth.
何時なら話をそらしても
You
嘘
might
を
try
つ
to
か
dodge, but you
そ
never
れ
lie.
にこんな状況で
And only you can figure
このままわらわに
if it's
沈
right
黙
for
を
me to be
貫くこと
silent. She sounded eerily lighthearted. Those who have a habit of seeing the separation of life and death understand the more sorrowful the mourning, the more serene the mourner.
記憶体の中ではわらわ
With
の
my
認識が
experience
一
before
番
life,
欠けておる
I have the greatest gap in my
おそらく
understanding.
生前の経験が
We
原因なん
communicate
じゃ
so easily and get one another.
じゃが 一つだけ例
Except
外
for
がある
one
のじゃ。
thing.
わらわは長い間同じ夢を
I
見
keep
て
having the same dream.
目の
An
前に
empty
広が
void.
る荒れ
A
果て
young
た
girl
虚無
was
の
sitting
中
by herself,
一人
crying
ぼっ
with
ちの少
hatred.
女が記憶が抜けているせい
Maybe
か
because of my lack of
わらわ
memory.
は彼女
I
が誰
can't
なのか
recall who
思い
she
出せぬ
is.
のだ。
And whenever I walked up to her, I wake
近
up
づこうと
suddenly.
する。それでも
So
あの
she
夢が
has
消え去
like
る兆しはなく
her memories
徐
right
々
up
によく見
until
る
the
ように
end.
なった。
But the end itself is like fuzzy. I keep having this dream more and more
あの
frequently.
ことを知って
It's been so long since
リンが
I learned
侵食の
that Rin
律
was
者とし
killed
て
by the Herrscher of corruption.
命を落としたことを。
Not exactly. She finally spoke. What do you mean?
これほど長い
It's been so
時
long.
が過ぎた。
She's known for a while.
さくら、
Sakura,
あなた。
you...
はあ、
Yeah,
ずっと
I've always known. Alicia's eyes grew wide. What is wrong? You never mentioned anything.
そういうことなのね。
Is that how it is, Sakura? Keeping secrets out
み
of
ん
the
なが
goodness
善
of
意
your
で
heart,
内緒にして
just
い
as
た
everyone
間、
else has done, just as
あなたも
everyone has done to you.
皆善意でそうしていたわ
Not
けでも
everyone
な
has
く、
good intentions.
おのおの違っ
Everyone
た
has a
判
different
断があ
opinion
る
on
は
letting
ず
me
じゃ。
know the possible
それを伝えるこ
consequences.
とで、じゃが汝のように
And then there are
単に
those
我
who
ら
don't
を
want to
悲
hurt
し
me,
ませたくなかった
like
ゆえ。
you.
さくら、
Sakura,
私、
It's strange, isn't
少
it?
し
いいえ、さくら。
No, Sakura,
意外
it
だっ
isn't
たわけじゃ
strange.
ないの。
I just
私はた
don't want to
だ、
see you have to make such a
あなた
painful
にあん
choice
な
again.
辛い
その通り、
It was a
辛い
painful
選択
choice,
じゃった。
so much that I
わ
can't
ら
let
わは
go.
そう簡単に受
And
け
yet
入れられ
revenge has lost all meaning.
誰に復讐すればよいのじゃろうな。
Who can
数
I
万
take
年も
revenge
前に
on?
死んだ犯人
The killers from 10,000 years ago?
同じくすでに
Aponia,
この世から
who's just a memory
立ち去り
now?
かエーデンは願わくば時が
Eden
止まる
always
ようにと
says,
言って
I wish this moment would last forever.
しかしわらは
But
こ
it's
そ
me that wants time to
誰より
stop
も
most.
時を止めたいと
So
願
that
う
beauty can live on.
未来へと足を踏み入れることで全てが混沌に巻き込まれ
With the future,
やがては
everything becomes
あ
chaotic.
る種の予測不能な結末へと流さ
Some
れて
unpredictable end. What the Honkai is, in
わら
my
わから
opinion.
すれば
Nobody
崩
has
壊と
truly
や
made
ら
a
はその
mistake,
ような存在
yet
じゃ
everything is lost,
わらわもまた
including
例
me.
外ではなく
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
本当は
I should have noticed sooner.
エリシア汝がそんな
Don't
悔
look
やんだ
so
表
sad,
情を
Licia.
晒す必要はない わ
I
ら
chose to
わは
hide it
皆
from
に限り
everyone.
かつては長い間
Rin
彼女は
has
わ
been
ら
my
わの
entire
全
life
て
for
じゃ
so long. When I
故
learned
に
what
事の
happened,
真相
I
を
was
知った
consumed with hatred.
先ほど語ったこと
Everything I
は
said
ど
before
れ
was
も役に
useless.
立たぬ理屈で
Even
しかな
now,
い
while I can understand
今
it,
になっても
I still can't
理性
stomach
では
it.
理解当の昔に復讐対象
I
を
lost
失
the
った
object
と
of
い
my
う
revenge a long time ago.
衝動がもた
But
ら
I'm
す
still
苦痛
tortured
に
by the
耐えな
impulse.
ければならぬとは
Maybe only by extracting my revenge and everything like Kelpis can I
戦後
alleviate
の
my
よう
pain.
に
けど、あ
But
な
you
たは
didn't.
そういうことは、
So you
ビル
asked
ビー
Vilvi
に
to
それを
fix
直
it
してもらった
and
の
retrieve
は、
the sealed memories. She looked down to Sakura's waist where the divine key
う
hung.
む己を
tried to
解
find
放する
answers from it
答
that
えを
would free
求
me.
めたかったのじゃ
But sealed by discipline,
しかし
I only remember the
戒律に
time I
封じ
waved
ら
my
れていた
sword
の
against my own kind.
しかしここでこの奇妙な
Instead,
タイプライター
the
を通
typewriter
し
that
て
may experience
本
wonderful
来の
memories
己には
that
な
were
い
never
記憶を
mine.
見られたの
Like the
じゃ
night I bid you farewell.
残念だったわね。
It's a shame.
もっと
You should
早
have
く
moved
動くべきだった。
エリシアも
Alicia,
し
what if I
あ
told
の
you
時隠し事をして
I
い
was
た
the
の
one
は
hiding something
わら
back
わの
then?
リンが火を追うがに連れて行かれる前に
I had a
彼女を
chance to
連
take
れ
Rin
出す
away
こと
before
が
the
で
moss
き
got at her. But she turned me down. Oh, that makes it even more tragic. What do you mean? How could that be?
わらわからすれば
She's
彼
still
女はまだ
child
子
in
供
my
じゃっ
eyes.
た
But in reality,
しかし
it's just not true.
実リンも災いに
She
満ちた
grew up
世を生
watching
き
a
て
world
き
of
た
disaster
己
She was
の置か
aware
れ
of
て
her
いる
loss
状況をすぐさま理解
and
し
more
たの
worried
じゃ
about herself even more than the
ない
moss.
リンは
She was
怖く
scared.
仕方がなくて
The
も
thought the moss had their
彼らが
reasons.
筋の通らぬ
She
よう
let
な行
herself
動を
get
取ら
taken
ぬと信
voluntarily
じた
so not to put others in
自ら連
danger.
れて行かれることそれと
And she believes
メイ博士は
Dr.
正
May
しい
will make
判
the
断
right
をす
call.
るとも信じ
As
て
rational as the Honkai is,
崩
we
壊という情の
humans
通じぬ存
have
在
the
があったと
opportunity to
して
control ourselves. I think May would have made
慈
the right
しみの
choice.
心をもってすれば
Unfortunately, it was taken out of her hands.
人類は必ず自分をコントロールできると
by virtue of responsibility and
す
compassion.
ごい子ね。
She's a pretty great kid.
その時
Back then,
あなたは納
did you
得した
disagree
の？
with her?
あ
Yes.
あ、だからこ
That's
そ
why we said goodbye.
あの別れとそ
And
の後
everything
の出
that
来事
followed.
がその記憶を取
The
り戻
moment
し
I
た
found
瞬
that memory, I realized
わらわは
the
悟り
girl in my dream wasn't just anyone.
夢にあ
It
らばあ
was
らわなのじゃ
myself. As she said this, a bitter smile spread across her face.
心の中に鳴り響く苦
I
痛と
thought the
憎し
pain
み
and
は
hatred was a hole
リ
left
ンがそ
behind
こ
in my
に
heart by
残したも
Rin.
のだとわらわは
But
勘
I
違
was
い
wrong.
しリンをずっと守っていたと勘違いしてい
Like
た
how I
のと同
mistakenly
じよう
thought I
に
was keeping her safe.
彼女の
Everything had
本心
already
に背
changed, so I
き救おう
decided
と
to go
した時
against her
点で
wishes and free her.
本当は
It was
彼
her
女が
keeping me
わらわを
safe.
守っておっ
The
た
person unable to leave.
相
is
手から
me.
離れられなだからこそ
And so,
わらわは復讐に身を委ねるわけにはいかぬのじゃ
I wonder if this is the real reason that the real Sakura killed herself. Because of all of this, rather than just Rin dying.
わらわのような融合戦士が理性を失い
As a
自身を
mantis,
制御で
once
きな
my
くなれば
rationality is gone, so is
い
my
つしか似
autonomy.
たような存在にな
The
る
only
結
ending
末しか
left is an
残らぬ
existence so different than a Harsha,
そうなれば
tainting
リンが
everything
頑
Rin
張って
strove
証
so
明し
hard
た
to
ことを
prove.
彼女をもう一度がっかりさせるわ
disappoint
けにはい
her
かぬ
Though she was skilled at hiding how she felt, she could not mask the hopelessness of
お
her
姉
voice.
ちゃんじゃから
I'm the older sister after all.
ちゃんとお手
I
本
have
を
to
見せ
set a good
る
example, right?
さくら
Sakura,
あなた
you've had it so
辛い
hard.
思いをしてきたの。
In a flash, Alicia understood the girl before her had never felt relief. During the 50,000 years she had spent in the Elysian realm, an unimaginably long, sad battle had been raging
You-
inside her.
エリシ
So,
ア
I
わ
want
ら
to
わ
ask
が
you
知
one
りたい
thing,
のはただ一
Alicia.
つわらわは
I want to
自
know how
分
it
の
truly...
本当の
okay.
結末を知りたい
So
の
she
じゃ
doesn't know that she killed herself, though. She knows everything right up to that point.
リンの本心に背くことを決意した後わらわ
After
は
going
最
against
後
Rin's wishes, at
もう
the end of
一
my
度
life, that I
正しい
finally
選
make
択
the
肢を
right
選べたの
choice.
じゃろう
She recalled how she defeated the pride of being an older sister with her, defended the pride of being an older sister with her life, and how the girl chosen by Honkai had proven her
それ
resolution.
ならさくら
Well then, Sakura,
昔のように
do you still want to believe
私
me
を信じてくれる？
like you used to? A cloud slowly drifted by, eclipsing the moon and causing everything to go dark for a moment. Alicia stepped forward and held Sakura in her arms. Sakura was quiet. Her body collapsed into Alicia, falling into her neck.
あなたたちは
You've all
最善を
did
尽
what
く
you
したわ。
could. It's unclear who let out the last cry, and then silence.
このことを教えてくれてありがとう。
Thank you for telling me everything.
こんな風に
I never thought
あな
you
た
would
方
open
に
up like
自分の
this.
と何
Maybe
時
it's
が
because
単
you
純
want
に
just
他人と
anybody.
言えるよあるいは
Well, maybe this is
これも
payback.
一種
しかし
Payback? What
私
did I
と
do
も
wrong?
何か
いいなただ
I'm
の軽
not
口
kidding.
じゃ
In fact, I'm
実
still
はもう
hiding
一つ
something.
夜叉の融合因子があるゆえ
Because
わ
of
ら
my
わは
fusion
気
with
配
the
に
Yaksha
対して
genes,
人一
I
倍敏
perceive scent
感じゃ
differently.
さ
This
ら
ability
に
is amplified
楽
in the
園にお
realm.
ける記憶が絡み合った混沌の領域であればリ
In
ン
this
以
place
外
where
の
memories are thrown
つま
together,
り
I didn't just
何時
capture
の
Rin's
結
ending,
末も捉えら
but
れる
yours
の
as
じゃ
well.
きっと美しい結末だっ
It's
たわ
quite
よ
a
ね。
beautiful end, isn't it?
いやわらわは
I'm not
記
the
憶の
memory's
所有
owner,
者ではない
but
か
I
ら
can pick up the scent of the subtle
気配
emotions
か
of
ら
those
感じ取
involved,
るゆえに
and I
きっと
believe it was a very
美
beautiful
しい
end.
結末じ
Tell
ゃ
me what happened
わらわは
already.
何時よりも先にこの世を去ったこ
I
と
truly regret leaving
わ
this
らわ
world
は
before
確か
you.
にいやすまぬ
Sorry.
変なこ
Forget
とを
about
口
it.
にしてしもうた
It
が
was a little
忘れ
strange
てく
thing
れ
to say that.
わ
I
らわ
just
は
wanted
た
to
だ
know if willingness,
何時
if
の結
witnessing
末
your
を目に
end
したら
would make any
己
difference
も
for
変
me.
わるか
何よそれ。
Things like this doesn't make
私
me
は
happy
人を
to be
導
the
く
one
の
to
が好
teach
きな
you.
タイプ。あなたたちは
You will
ずっ
never
と変わらない。
change. That's why I like everyone so much.
確か
Absolutely.
にそれに
I
残
hope it
念
never
とは思
happens
うも
again.
のの
Otherwise,
実の
it'll
とこ
just
ろ
be
そん
another
なこ
thing
と
I
は二
cannot
度そうじ
face.
ゃろエリ
What do you
シ
say, Alicia?
オエリシ
Alicia? There was no answer, and that's when she was deleted. Remembering what had just been said, Sakura turned away, thinking Alicia was making another one of her jokes. But now, aside from herself, no one else was there. It seemed impossible. Even if she was once an assassin, there's no way she could disappear without Sakura. What? What? Alicia was once an assassin? What?
待て。これは。
Wait, this... What? Wait, no, what? That's new. That's very new. Ooh. Thinking about that, though, I wonder if that's why Alicia has, like, the viewpoint she has. I see, the problem is I don't know if that's actually talking about Alicia or if that's just a really bad translation and was saying that about herself. Chill ran down her spine as she picked up a familiar scent. What place was this? In a daze, she began awakening from her nightmare and tried to resume control over her consciousness. Did I escape? How much time had passed? The memory of that threatening presence coldly clung to her mind. What happened after? Did Kalpis get my message? She must leave this place. Amid the darkness, she gripped her weapon for reassurance, knowing she would slice in two anyone that tried to approach her. Don't panic, Sakura. It's me. Sue. Her senses were active once more. Before her was a narrow, closed-off space. With it, the memory was awakened. She had used Setsuna just in time to free space and barely escaped through the fracture she had created. Boundless darkness followed. I can't believe I've been asleep that long. How was things okay, so she, like, ripped open a pocket dimension and jumped into it. That's why no one's been able to find her. And she's been, like, knocked out since. It doesn't look good. As expected, the search of corruption has already descended to the Elysian realm. Corruption. He said the word without any hesitation. And with that said, she was fully caught up to speed. Oh, no wonder I didn't realize. And Alicia. All she received was a sigh in return. I see. Sue, how did you find me?
仙号が手がかりをくれてね。君の暗号をたどって彼もここに来たんだ。
Kalpis tipped
し
me
か
off.
し
He
彼
followed
は
your
第二
message.
の神の
But
鍵を
unlike
持
me,
って
he
いな
didn't
かっ
have the
たから
second divine key to cut
こ
through
の凍
frozen
結した
space.
それとビルビー
But
が
also,
残したメッセージに
Vilvi
も
left behind a message
君
that
の在り
pointed
か
to
が
your
示されて
location.
いた。
ビルビー
Vilvi!
あ
I'm
あ、お
afraid
そらく今頃
she's gone too.
彼女もすでに。
But she left me a riddle,
しかし
asking about the safest place in
とあ
the
る
realm.
君は一度データに異常が生じていたものの
Your data
さらなる
showed
侵
some
食は
anomaly,
起こらなかっ
which was
た。
never corrupted further.
侵
I
食
think
の
it
律
might
者
have
が
to do
意
with
図
the
的
riddle.
に
汝の考えで
You
は
think this
こ
space
こが絶対
is
に
the
安全
safest
な場所
place
だ
to be?
何はともあれ
At the very least,
実際
the
に君
suspended
が作り
space
出した
you created
この停
could
滞して
stop
い
the
る
spread
空
of
間は
corruption.
じゃがそれだけじゃ
That's as far as it goes.
汝はここを避難所とし
Are you
て使
planning
う
on
気なの
using
じ
this
ゃ
as a refuge?
しかし
My sword
我ら
technique
の
can
技
only
では
stop
せいぜい
corruption,
侵食を
not
止め
end
るだ
it.
けさもなくば
Otherwise, I wouldn't be
Calm
like
down.
this. Her voice stopped short. If she was already corrupted, why would she have woken up at this moment? Sakura looked down to find the green haze that once shrouded her body was beginning to disappear.
ス
Sue,
どこにおるのじ
where
ゃ
are you?
汝の
I can't
姿が
see
見
you.
え
僕はここにいる
I'm
よ
right here.
ただ
It's
も
just
う姿を現すわけにはいかなくなった
汝わらわに何をしたんじゃ
I should have already been corrupted.
すでに侵
Did
食されてい
Sue
る
take the corruption onto, like, absorb the corruption onto himself with Bodhi?
君と僕のデータの一部を入れ替えた
Okay.
僕を構成し
I've
ている
replaced
一
some of
部
your
のデ
data
ータ
with
を
mine.
君
I
に
hope
送
this
り
data
込ん
will
だん
slow
だ
your suffering. So he
まだ
gave
破損して
her
いないデー
enough
タ
of
が
his data
君の苦
that
痛を
he
和らげら
now
れたらい
can't
い
like
のだけど
physically manifest, but she should be able to like it'll eat that before it eats her.
じゃがそうすれば
But that
汝
means you
は
will-
事前に教えるべきじゃった
You should have told me first.
僕は一
I'm
人
a
の医者
healer.
なんだ
This also, yeah, this
苦しむ
totally
人
lines
を
up
見
with
捨
his
てては
backstory,
本心に背いてしま
where
う
he was a doctor that sacrificed like his health over over everything. I'm a healer. To not help those that suffer goes against my nature. That didn't seem like a cure, but a bad trade.
それに
Time is short.
もう時
I
間が
couldn't
ない
wait
ん
for you
だ。
to awaken any longer.
現状を打破するためには
Your ability to
僕
move
より
is
も
more important than my
君
safety.
が自由に動け
Your
ること
skill
を優
trapping
先すべ
anything,
きだ。
even if it's just Setsuna,
君の
is enough.
これを持っていくんだ。
Take it,
Sakura.
Sakura. Amid the light, Forget-Me-Not's mask was returned to its owner.
戦後が君のために
Kelp
ず
has
っと
kept it
残
for
して
you
お
up
いた
until
ものだ。
now. Now it's time to
今こそ
return it. Sakura took the mask, and a faint heat stung her fingers. She knew this feeling too well. In the years she served the cocoon, that fiery man burned this heat into the hearts of others, as was the heat lingering on the mask. She opened her mouth slightly, but she did not utter a sound. At long last, she murmured 2 words.
心得た。
I understand. And they were enough. She put on the mask and reached for the weapon worn at her waist again. That warmth had gone, leaving only a piercing chill.
わらわは何をすればよい
What do you need from me?
ビルビーの残した
It
策
is
だけど
Vilvi's final gambit.
3つ
A
の仕掛
three-part
けがあ
riddle.
るんだ。
つまり
Is it
一
the
つの
same
問い
riddle
に
but with
答
3
えが
different
3つあるん
answers?
じゃ。
あ
The
さっ
answer
き言
we
った
came up
答え
with
も
was just the first
その
part.
うちの一つに
The
過ぎ
other
ない
two are the
し、
key.
だからさくら、
So now I need you
君
to
には
reveal the second answer,
第二の
Sakura.
答えをそのために
And the only
僕
way
たち
to
は
do that
死に直面しなけ
is
れ
by
ばならない。
facing death.
前のあれを手合わせ
What
と
happened
いう
earlier
の
was
は
too implausible to
い
be
さ
called a
さか無
fight.
理じゃから
So,
もう一度
let's
やり
start
直そう
over.
ぞ。
Oh, Chef Corruption. Okay, she's got the mask on. Which, and from what Kalpa said, that mask doesn't come off until somebody's dead. Sakura. Oh,
どう
this
して
didn't always
こう
turn
な
out
ったの
this
か
way.
な
I wanted to keep you out of it because I care about you,
あなた-
Sakura. It's not just her look. Oh, it's not just her look. Her personality is becoming like Alicia's. And I mean that in a bad way. At first I was surprised, but now I get it. She's after Mark 666 of the Kevin Killer. She has to become Alicia to control it.
なるほど。
I see.
幕引きに
Is
使
it
われる
something
装
for the
置じゃ。
curtain call?
今の状況はスーが送
Sue's
ってき
data
たデータである
let me
程
know
度把
what's
握
going on here. But it will take me some time to
全
fully
てを理解
understand. Data, you mean Sue is...
こうなった以上
What's done is
彼
done.
の決断を
We
信
have
じ
to
るしか
trust his
ない。
decision.
何
Besides,
せ彼は
isn't he known
Shut
for
up,
being
I'll say-
wise? Sakura looked again at the uncannily familiar
今の
face.
ところ彼女のよう
He's
な
the
存
only
在
one
は一
like
切
herself
し
in
かいないの
existence, right? It looks like she's having trouble maintaining this state.
となれば
Then all
こ
we
や
have
つ
to
を
do
こ
is
こに
keep her
留め
here.
ておけば
If we cut her off completely. Oh, sorry to
冗談
interrupt.
中に
But
失
I
礼
overheard
す
you
るけ
two
ど、こ
whispering.
こには女の子が3
It's
人
rude to
もい
leave
る
people
の
out
に
of
一人
conversations.
だけ仲間外れにす
Besides,
るなんて
you're
よ
getting
く
in the
な
way
いん
of
じ
our
ゃない
date, Sakura. Oh, seeing this all seems pretty normal for me. At least you love three ways.
意外だ。
Uh-huh.
そんな経
I'm
験があった
surprised you
なんて。
experienced doesn't matter.
ならこの後
Later you'll have
じ
to
っ
tell
く
me
り
all
教
about
えて
it.
聞かれたところで問題はない
It's fine if you overheard what
先
we
ほ
were
どの
talking
会
about.
話は
It's not
元
like
よ
any
り
of
こ
it
っ
was
そ
a
りする
secret
必要
anyway.
デートに関しては
As far as dating
す
goes,
まぬ
I'm sorry, but you're more of an old friend to me. Sakura? Oh,
ず
how
いぶんと
direct!
素直になったのね。
I like you even more
あ
now
の
that you
夜の
were
あなたより
than how you
今の
were
方
that
が
one
好
night,
きよ。
Sakura. Reminding her of that night caused Sakura
彼
to
女の
frown.
喋り方
Don't
そ
say
の
that
よう
with
な
her
ことを
voice.
口にする
相変わらず頑固なのね。
Decisive as always.
彼女ってそんなに
Is
特
it
別な
really
の
that special to you?
代
Or
わり
is
に
she
なれる
really
存
that
在はい
special
な
to
い
you?
って
So
そ
special
こま
that
で信じき
no
って
one
る
can
なんて。
replace her?
彼女と親しいものはわらわ
That's
だ
all
け
to
では
say.
ない
I'm not the
そ
only
れ
one
ゆえ
she's
結
close
論
to.
が
But
何時にそれを
You
証
won't
明す
have
る時間
you
など
won't have enough
存
time to
在
find out. She laid her hand on the weapon and began emanating a certain aura, the aura of an
で
assassin.
きれば
I don't want us to put this blade up to her face.
あ
So that's how she had felt
ー
at
あ
the
の時
time.
彼女は
I
こう
finally
いった
get it
気分
now.
だ。ここまで誤解されてるっ
Even
て
though
い
you
うの。
unfairly misunderstand
心
me,
を殺してあなた
I'm
たち
still
を
not
傷
cruel
つけ
enough
る
to
こ
want
と
to
だっ
hurt
て
you.
すでにあったことがあるでしょ。なら
We've been here
ど
before.
うして未だ
What
に
makes you
自分
think
が
you
形
can
勢
change
に影
anything
響を
now?
与えられる
前にしくじったのは
Last time
何
you
時
got
の不
away
意
with
打ち
your
を得意とする
unpredictability.
特性を知
But
ら
I
なか
know
った
about that now.
すでに分かった以上
Even Setsuna wouldn't capture the fleetingness of that moment.
触らせないようにするのはそう難しくもない
A momentary extreme. It's not so hard, staying out of your reach. I mean, why didn't you stab her?
とても面白い状況になってきたみたいだねえ、さくら。
So, you really don't want to think it over again, Sakura?
この後どうあがい
I'd
ても
hate to see all of your hard
で
work
も
get
足も出ない
wasted.
様子。
As her tone changed, strange sounds rang out from all over. Monsters summoned at will had begun gathering around them.
この数わらわとメイドのを引き離すためじゃな。
This soccer is pretty cool. I don't know if it's old or not, though. No? Okay. Huh. I guess it just uses the bars when it builds? Oh, this is 100% like an
一人だ
older
ったら
unit.
確かに厄介な状況かもしれぬ。
This would be difficult if I only had myself, but... Whoa! Kai-kana!
どうやら心配は無用の
I
よう
need
じゃ。
not worry. I don't know what activates the bar, because holding it doesn't do anything. Oh wait, maybe it did? Fuck him up! Fuck him up! Inazuma gang go! Inazuma would have been out by this point, right? Yeah, because Dragon Spine was like getting ready to come out in the Herrscher of Ice arc. Fuck, this might have been Sumeru might have been out at this point.
さて、そろそろ本人の出
Now
番
you
じゃ
have to
な。
fight as yourself.
新色の
Herrscher of
律者。
Corruption. Actually, let me see that.
はあ、これってもしかしてエリシアが背負わなければならない運命ってやつなのかな。
The flawless. Chapter 29. Does it say a year here? No. Chapter 20. I guess let's check 31. Yeah, I'm seeing 2022. So I think only Sumeru would have been out at that point, right? So they wrote all this like with the complete knowledge of like the Yai and the Raiden of HI3's relationship. Is this the fate I must suffer,
ず
Alicia?
っと誠意を持って本音を
I've been
語
nothing
っ
but
てきたつ
sincere
も
from
り
the
だけど
outset, but you still
ど
want
う
to
やら
prove,
証
you
明し
still
な
want
い
me to
と
prove it?
それも
And not just
命を
prove
かけ
it,
ての証
but
明
prove it with my life.
いいよ
Tell you the truth, the reason I'm staying out of this
手に
battle
か
is
けるの
because
が
I just
忍び
can't
な
be
かった
bothered.
どうしても信じてくれないのなら
Sounds like you'll believe me
私
anyway,
も頑
so
張
why
って
should I try and
証明
prove
しないと
myself?
今度は
Besides,
誰の命を
whose
使
life
え
should
ば
be
いい
used to prove I'm serious?
ある意味デートとも言えるかしらこれ以上戦ったら泣くからねこれでいいのね
Transformation progress.
メイドの用心を怠るな。
Careful,
あ
mate.
やつはすでに
Beyond the flame chasers doesn't even begin to
という
describe
簡
him.
単な一言で片付けられるようなものではない。
どうかな
How
状
about
況を
that?
見る限り
What What I said doesn't sound so wild now, do they? I'm fucking dying.
この花をありがたく受け取ってちょうだい。
How's things looking, Sakura?
おそらく今は
Not going great. To be generous. While they whispered, she kept her eye on the Hersher at a distance. She seemed completely at ease without the thought of her opponents escaping or
メ
striking
イド
back.
彼女の話はおそらく嘘ではない
Just from the power of
力なく
alone.
残りの英傑たち
Even
全
if the
員
other
がこの
flame
場に
chasers arrived, he'd still be able to crush us all. Then it might be best to retreat. Sakura, go find Eponia. I can resist her corruption. Will buy us some more time? Yeah, about that.
実力の差がこうも開いてな
If
け
the
れば
gap between our power wasn't so
確かにそれは
large,
可能じゃ
maybe we'd stand a
し
chance.
かし
But as it
どう
stands,
やら
she's
彼
powerful
女
enough
は
to take us
わ
both
らわ
on.
たメイド
However,
元
to
から
limit
わらわは
Suzuka by
不意打ちを
surprise.
仕掛けるつも
But
り
it
だっ
doesn't.
た
But it looks like I have no choice but to fight to head on.
こう
What
なっ
do
た
you
以
mean
上
you wanted to
正面突破するし
take
か
her
あ
by
るまい
surprise? You jumped in and talked to her for 20
以前も言
minutes.
った通りわらわは空
I
間を
mentioned I
凍
have
結
the,
させる
the
技
sword
を掌
technique that
握
can
し
freeze
た
space.
本質上破壊
While
力
not
は持って
destructive
お
on
ら
its
ん
own,
が
it can give us
そ
an
の力を利
opportunity
用す
to
る
land
こと
an
に好
attack.
機を
But Sakura, with just one hit,
心得ておる
I know. Which is why
汝に第
I'm
三
giving
の
you the
神
third
の鍵
divine
を
key. Seven thunders of retribution.
汝も知っているように
As you know,
楽園
it's
にあ
just
る
the,
のは記憶の
the
再
reappearance
現
of a memory here. But in your hands, it may be bonded to the core of a true Hersher. So yeah, I've been
駆使でき
wondering
る可能性がある
what would happen if... How did a palm show up? What button did I hit that was a palm? I guess I'm leaving it now. What would happen if a Hersher used the divine key made of a previous core of it? Like, what would happen if Welt/Bronya now used Void Archives? What would happen if Owl had gotten the Star of Eden? Because wouldn't it like resonate with the new core?
雷の律者が採血の鍵を使って必
The
殺の
Hersher
一
of
撃を
Thunder.
放てば
The key of judgment
敵を
through the
抹殺
Hersher
できるかもしれない
of Thunder. The key of judgment can destroy its enemies.
そのために
To make this work,
共に必中の
let's
チャン
work
スを
together
作
to
り出さ
ensure the blow lands. We have to get Kiana, the judgment of Shamash.
おや
Thank you
話は
done
終わった
chatting.
デートの邪魔をされたの
My
は
date is
私な
clearly
のに
ruined, but to
二
leave
人
you
っき
two
りの空
alone.
間を残さ
That's
ない
enough
と
to
いけ
make
ない
even
の
me upset.
さくらさっきの
Sakura,
こ
what you just said.
本
You
当は
wanted
わ
me
ざ
to
と
hear, didn't
私に
you?
言ったはずじゃ
I already
聞か
told
れ
you.
ていても
It
どうと
doesn't
い
make a
うことはな
difference.
そう
Yep,
な
doesn't
んだ
matter
か
if it's
楽
you
園
or
にいる
me.
女の子って
The girls here in the
みんな
realm
ずる賢
are
す
always
ぎる
up to
と思うんだ
something.
だとすると
So
本
it
当
is
に
you're
隠したい
hiding.
ことって
The
一体
techniques that can
何
freeze space.
空
And how
間を
you'll
凍
make
ら
sure it
せる
doesn't fail.
技あーごめんね
I'm so sorry, Sakura.
さくらは
But
刹那
you
の
have
命
the
を背負っ
inscriptions
て
of
たんだっ
Setsuna.
け
I might not be able to
もしか
avoid
して
it.
必ず当たる保証などな
I don't know for sure, but it never hurts to try. He slowly raised the tip of the seven thunders of
神
retribution.
の鍵
The divine key.
彼女たち
They did swap
Look.
weapons. She looked beyond Sakura and saw Mei standing in place, as if she were waiting for something.
私の推測通りか
This is what I think it is.
なだとする
That's
と
a clever strategy.
確かに悪くない作戦だねいいよさくら存分に楽しませてもらう
Alright, Sakura, show me what
そ
you've
れじゃ
got.
あ
Well, should we
始めよ
begin?
う
メイドのしばらく
Mei,
は戦い
please
には
stay out
参
of
加
this
せ
one.
ず
Save
力
your
を貯め
strength for that moment.
好機を待つのじゃ
Oh, come on
大声で
now.
悪だく
I
み
can
す
hear
る
your
のやめ
plans.
てくれない
Yeah, no, this is definitely older. It's kind of hard to get the charge attacks out, which it definitely wouldn't be if this was a one that came out during this section.
あれさくらまだいい
What's
タイミ
wrong,
ングを見つ
Sakura?
けてないのか
Still
な
waiting for your chance?
こうしているうちにチャ
But
ン
this
スは
goes
どんど
on.
ん逃げてい
Hope
くけ
only
ど
grows slimmer.
汝の弱点を見極め
It's
るのは
difficult to find your
決して
flaw.
容易なことではあるまい。真正面から速さで勝つことが全ての金
Being
で
faster than you is the
小
key.
細工など通
There are
用
no
せん。
shortcuts.
その通り。刹那とのスピード勝
Absolutely.
負
That'd be
なん
blast
て
racing
面
against
白い
Setsuna.
ね。前にも一度見たことはあるけど、
Despite having seen it once,
やっぱりワ
I'm
クワク
excited
し
to
ちゃ
see
う
it
よ。
again. It looks like I just straight up cannot die in this segment.
消えよ。
Which is good, because it also isn't dropping health.
これ以上戦ったら泣くからね。
I'm also not gaining energy like at all.
この花をありがたく受け取ってちょうだい。
おそらくわらわの技で
I
はなく
presume you're not excited
わらわ
about
た
the
ちが
sword
再
play.
び手も足も出ない様をさらけ出すことを期待しておるのじゃな。
私はそんな意地悪な人じゃないよ。
Even in times like this, I can
こん
praise you
な
for
時でもあ
something.
なたを褒める言葉が見つかるなんて本当に賢いのね。
You really are clever.
よかった。
Fine then. Let's give it a shot.
マイルとしよう。
そうださくら、
Does
あ
your
なたの
technique
技っ
have
て
a name,
自分な
Sakura?
りの名前をつけてないの？使い道で呼んでるだけ
Calling
じゃ
it by
言
its
いづらそ
function
う
is
だ
a
け
bit
ど
of a
ね。
mouthful.
暗殺者にそのようなものは無意
Names
味
mean nothing to an assassin. It was Sakura's voice. But to her share of corruption surprise came from behind her. Cracks began to form across Sakura's body, starting from her mask. In the distance, Mei also began to break. Then, the real Sakura emerged from her disguise, ready to strike with the seven thunders of retribution. You're too late, hush of corruption. I'm not really sure what happened there.
どうしても知りたいのであれば
If you're really that curious,
刹那一刀
let's call it
万
Setsuna
象
Blade.
無名
Mumya. Behind Mei and Sakura, the Hersher of Corruption was frozen along with her surroundings, unable to move.
そんな
How
あな
did
た
you?
まあいいや。
It's just to pretend I'm
驚くふりをす
surprised.
るの。さくら、あ
Sakura,
なた
you're
って
really
ば本
something.
当に最高。
I didn't know you were
あ
so
な
good
た
as
の
a
技でこ
sword.
んなこと。まずは幻影を使って位置を入れ替え
Her
る。
voice has
それ
changed.
から名誉を取りにし、不意打ちを仕掛けることで
It's
相手の
way
行動を
less like
封じる。
Alicia's voice now. It's deeper. She can't hold on to the Alicia personality. By switching identities with Mei, you're able to take me by surprise and freeze me. Okay, so that it is just that they like did something that made them seem like the
素
other
晴
one.
らしかった。何のコミュ
You
ニケーシ
not
ョン
even
もなく、
communicating at
こん
all.
な連携が
I'm
取
a
れ
bit
るなん
jealous,
て。
really.
でも残念なことに、
But my
私
focus
は
is
ずっ
always
とあ
on
なた
you.
に気を配
I
って
can
い
avoid the
た。
sword that freezes space.
空間を凍
Seven
らせる
Thunder.
一撃さえかわせば、
If I can avoid the
常
sword
在
that freezes
七来の
space,
攻撃なん
Seven
て
Thunders of
大したこ
Retribution
と
is
じゃ
nothing
な
to
い。
worry
これ
about.
で最後のチャン
And
スも
now
な
you've
くなっ
lost
た
your
ね。
only chance. Sakura. Though it wasn't obvious, Mei recognized the dark green color that began spreading from Sakura's arm. That attack didn't make
そ
contact.
う驚かないで。
Don't be
桜
too
はスピード
surprised.
が速いから、ちょっ
Sakura's very
と
fast.
したリスクを
I
背
had to
負
take a
わな
little
いと
risk to catch her.
確実に
I'd
捉
say
え
it
る
was
こと。
worth it. With that said, the corruption began to spread. It was just a bad
結局
move,
惜敗
right?
その通り。
That's right.
どうも裏があるように
Why does
感
it
じ
seem
る
like
ね。
you're still hiding something?
この計画を知ったと
When I learned about the plan,
一部は必要のない段取りだと思うじゃが
But
今
now
考
I
え
see.
てみれば
he was right all along. He?
汝は データ
Perhaps you're a
空間
bit
に
too
対する
confident
支
in
配
yourself.
力を過信しす
You're
ぎ
able to
じ
see through our illusion.
ゃ。確かにそう
But
す
you
ることで
missed
こちらの
something else.
侵食の律者
The Hush of
幻
Corruption
影を使
deceives
い
through
感
illusions.
覚を欺き
My sword
偽
techniques
装
aren't
を
capable of that.
古の楽園でそんな
The
能
only
力を
ones
持
that are
つ
capable
第
that's in the
8の
realm
神
are
の
the Ace Divine
子
Key
もし
and a Psychic Mantis.
精
Oh,
神感知
Sue's
型の
here.
融合
For the first time, the Hush of Corruption's eyes grew wide in
精
genuine
神
surprise.
感知型
Psychic? Here? Yeah, because Sue was like in Sakura, kind of. A warm light filled her shocked gaze. It emerged from May's body and engulfed her.
ああ、侵食の律者。
You see, this
この
battle was never
戦い
two
は
on one, but
初め
found
か
there
ら
were
二
three
人
of
が
them.
かりではな
It
く
did all, I thought
3対1なん
Sue
だ。
was also here because when Sakura showed up, it said 2 lights. And also, yeah, like they said, like I said, Sue was like hitching a ride in
守
Sakura.
備消し。
Sumeru. The rending feeling of crossing space in an instant was spreading throughout May's entire body. May tried to open her eyes for a moment and was forced to close them again due to the light. Sue,
ああ、僕
it's
だ。
me. So, this was the plan all along. Sakura offered her support so you could get me away from the
どう
Hershey.
やら現状に対して
Seems like you get the gist.
ある程度のこの境こそ
The realm is
桜
this,
が
this
技を
realm is
使
the
って
space
切り
Sakura
開いた
opened.
空間なんだ。
Let Sakura go into battle while I waited here
彼
for
女
an
を先
opening. Vivi set it up, didn't she?
ああ、
That's right.
彼女は以
They
前
left me riddled with 3
答えが3
answers.
つある謎を
In
残し
it
て
lay
く
the
れたん
key
だ。
to defeating the Hershey of Corruption.
古の楽園に
Do you think there's
絶
a
対
place
的に
that's
安全な
perfectly
場所
safe
があ
in
ると
Elysian
思う
realm?
僕は考えたんだ。そして侵食の律者を前にして
And no such thing
その
can
ような
exist
概
as the
念は
Hershey of
存在し
Corruption
ない
realm.
と。だから
Though, May recalled the sharp pains she had felt in her head and knew the answer. A place that doesn't exist. That's the answer.
ああ、
That's right.
そして
It works as
その
3
答え
different
が僕を
answers.
桜の
It
居場
led
所へ
me
と
to the
導
frozen
いてくれ
space
た。
where Sakura was hiding, which was the
襲撃
first
された。
answer.
そして2つ目なん
As
だ
for
が
the second,
それ
it's up
は
to me to find out.
僕に残された
That
役
will
目だった。
require me to take on death
それをこ
directly,
なすには
just like Sakura.
僕も桜、そして3つ
And
目
the final, third answer,
同時に
which is the most
最も
critical
鍵
one,
楽園にある
the
絶対的
absolute
に安
safest
全な場
place in
所
the Elysian realm, which is
要す
both
る
a
に
part of the realm and outside
楽園にあ
is
る来訪者
your mind.
君の
Visitor. My mind? So that's what Vilvi meant. Because of my power, the Hershey of Corruption can't corrupt me. If this could extend to space, it would free me from corruption. It would be free from corruption as well. I can read. And that could allow a
そ
counterattack.
の通りだ。
That's right. But how?
元はアポニアと僕がやるべき
It
こ
should
とだ
have
っ
been
た。
taken care of by both me and
しかし、
Aponia. But
今
now
は
it's up to
僕
me
ビルビー
alone.
は君の思考
Vilvi
の
left
中
the
に
signals of Helix
螺
in
旋
your
の
mind.
刻印を残し
I'll
た
use it as a beacon,
SO1129
and
と
perform
いう
the
手
surgery
術を
known as
再度実行する。
SO1129. That's for creating a sim.
古の楽園ができた
Just
頃
as when
に
Elysian
英
realm was
傑た
first
ちがやって
completed.
いたように
How that your mind
君の
developed,
思考を
like the
記憶
flame
体
cases, there in the
Yeah.
form of a sim,
記憶空間という
a memory
形で
space.
そうすることで初
Only
めて
then can we
僕たちは
welcome Alicia back.
エリシアの帰りを迎えられる。
Okay, so Alicia is all livable again. Also, obviously, because Sakura did not kill Alicia, I was wrong on the way I thought Alicia would come back. Sue, the key to winning is still marked 666, right?
ああ、
Yes.
今
Every
までの
effort
努力はすべて
has to be made to
その
regain
主導
control
権を
of it.
奪い返す
It's
ため
the
のも
only
のだ。
way to defeat the Hershey of Corruption.
侵食の律者に勝つには
See, the thing that's really gonna kill me is obviously May's gonna have to activate it. I mean, I guess Alicia could activate it, but I feel like it's leading up to May having to activate it. Which means whoever survives the Hershey of Corruption, which is probably everybody that's left right now, May is going to have to delete. And that's gonna kill me. So no matter what, there can only be one ending, right?
来訪者、
Don't be concerned.
君が気にかける出会った頃に伝えたように 僕たちは過去
As I
の
told
影
you when we first met,
この片隅
we
の
are but
天地も
shadows of the past.
過ぎ去り
This
し風
land
景
is
の
only
残存
scraps
に
of
過ぎ
past
ない
scenery.
王子は消え去り個人も帰ってこない存在がない
The
なら
past has
邪魔
disappeared,
もないだろ
and those who are gone will no longer
エ
return.
リシアやエデンに聞
How
いて
can you
も
disturb the
同じ
non-existent?
答えが返ってく
If you
るは
asked
ず
Alicia Eden, they would have given you the same answer.
もうすぐ彼
You'll
女た
see
ち
them
に会える
soon. The smile
だから笑って
is
くれ
what
ない
they
か
wished for too. I understand. SO 1129. Alicia said it was an experience similar to riding on a roller coaster while eating peanuts with her eyes. I'll find out if she's lying right away. Is the girl I'm about to meet the same girl I
強
know?
く信じていれば
As long as you have
彼女が
faith,
立ち去ることは
you
な
never
い
did leave. Faith,
記憶体の誕生と同じ
it's
さ
like the birth of every memory
記憶
replica.
空間が
All
展
your
開される
happiness,
時
sadness,
君の中に
meetings
あ
and
る喜怒哀
partings
楽や
will be used
理
to
合
weave an
集散が
immaculate
世
world
界を紡ぐ
when you expand your memory
だ
space.
から
So
思
recall,
い出すんだ
recollect every moment
彼
you
女と
spent
過ご
with
した
her.
時間
Remember every bit
彼
of
女がも
change
たら
she
した
brought
君の
about.
記憶で
Pave
彼
your
女
way
へと
to
つなが
her
る道
using
を
your
開くんだ
memories.
たとえデータが隠滅して
Even
も
if data has been erased,
記憶が不滅の
memory
痕
will
跡を
leave
残してくれる
ineffaceable traces behind.
これを持っていくんだ
Take it with you. He passed the blue crystal flower in his hand to
残り
May.
の2つは
Eden will
エデ
give
ン
you
が
the
君に
remaining
4
two.
つの鍵
Four
それらで
keys that were sealed in
と
a
ある
single
昔の
episode
出
of
来
the
事を
past.
封じてい
The
る
page that you should have flipped open is now.
それを君の記憶の
Let
中
it
で
blossom again in your memories.
も
Of course. You know my answer.
答えなど分かっておるじゃ
You know, you know my answer.
まさかあなたがこ
So,
こを訪
did
れ
you
た
come
唯
here
一の
solely,
目的
solely to
っ
be
て
corrupted by
私
me?
に
何のことじゃ
Even
全
soon can't
界
be
市場
certain.
が起動した
Whether you
し
can notice the moment
そ
Cosmic
れに気づ
Juggernaut
き止めに
activates
来
and
るこ
stop
と
it
だっ
with
て
your
十
powers.
分あり
Yeah, like she's
そ
already
の
gone.
上あの
Like
数
she's
で
still
さ
here
え
and
それ
still
を予
able to
測す
fight,
るこ
but
とは
that
できん
corruption is like intense already.
しかし強
But
力
even
な
you,
記憶体を
what
相
if
手に
you
侵
consider
食を
none
行
of effort to
う
corrupt the strong memory
たと
replica?
えそうなればあの
In fact,
全能に
you'll
等
be
し
able to
い状
keep up
態
with
が
the
維持で
seemingly
きなくな
omnipotent
るじ
state for a
ゃ
while.
それゆえに
That's why
ス
Sue
ーが
welcomed
わら
death
わ
for
に
my
求めた
request.
のがどうやら
Looks
賭け
like
に分かった
our
ようじゃ
gamble
な
paid off.
さくら
Sakura,
あなたたち
I neither really can understand
時
any
に
of
彼
you.
女をここから出してあげた
You
か
just
っ
wanna
ただ
see
け
her
なんで
off.
しょ
No need to put up an act trying to
わ
defeat
ら
me.
わはすでに一度
You'll be
失敗して
suspicious if I let you touch me
そ
easily
う簡
again.
単に
After
再
I'd
び
already
接
made a
触で
mistake
きたら
before, no? You sure went
随
around in
分
a
と
big
回るけど
circle.
さくら
But Sakura,
あなたは
you really
本
know
当
what
に
you're
自分
doing.
に逃げられたというのに
You could have escaped and you deliberately came back. Did you go through the grueling battle only to sacrifice yourself?
構わぬ
It
こ
doesn't
のような
matter.
こと
I've already
すでに一
had
度
that
体
sort of
験しておる
experience
からな
once. Oh, is
私が
it because of my experience? My identity is this 12th Hersher?
彼女とは別の存在だ
Although she
け
and
ど
I don't share the same
私を通
existence.
して過
But
去
you
に
want to use me
決
to give
着をつ
closure
け
to
た
the
かったの
past, don't you?
わらわはただ汝を通して
Just
とあ
wanted you
る
to
こと
prove
を
some
証明
things
し
to
た
me.
かっただ
But
け
it
じゃ
seems like there's no need for that anymore.
証明
Proof?
汝よりも先にこの
You
世を
never
去っ
regret leaving this world before
たわ
you.
らわはいやすまん
Sorry. Forget
変な
about
こ
it.
とを口にして
It's
し
a
まう
little
か
strange to say
ら
that.
忘れてくれ
I just wanted to know if witnessing your end would make any difference to me. The words she had said just recently resurfaced in her
全
memories.
然変わっておら
It
ん
didn't at all.
エリシアが去っていく
My
のを
end
見
did not
届け
change
て
even
もなお
watching even
わ
after
らわ
watching
の
Alicia
ケツもし
leave.
かしこのような
Indeed.
ことも言って
She
お
also
る
said this to
あ
me.
なたたちは
I
ずっ
like
と変わ
everyone
らない
so much precisely because
だから
none of you have ever
私は見
changed.
た侵
Come,
食の
Hush
率
of corruption. Use your hands. Use
わ
my
らわの
death
死で
to prove that she was
彼
the
女
one
が
who was
正し
right.
い
She'd already used all her trump cards. The land that she stood on would undoubtedly become her grave.
その前に
Before that,
一つ頼む
I have a
がある
request. Speak,
できれば
if it's possible.
より苦痛な
Please
死
give
を
me
与
a more
えてほし
painful
い
death.
悔い
Do
絶
your best to make me feel desperate, remorseful,
可
and
能な限り
helpless.
そうすることで
Only then
自
will I know
分
how
がどれほど
incompetent
プラ
I
イ
have
ドを
been.
指して
Only
自
then will I
分
know
が
how
姉と
I
しての誇りをい
kept my
かに
pride
守っ
as
た
an
の
older
かを
sister
知
to
る
the
こと
end.
さくら
Sakura,
今になっても
You
釈
still
然
haven't
と
let
して
go.
そんなこと
I have
一度もあり
not,
はせん
and never will. Perhaps the change she brought herself was a chance to stay immovable, unchanged from the
そ
start.
れでも
Even so,
あなたは
you
私
still
の
wish
目
to
の
stand
前
here
に
and
立ち
resist me?
ふさがる
Don't you want to listen to the voice in your heart telling you to live on? She answered by slowly raising her
そん
blade.
なこ
I do
と
not,
一度もありはせん。
and never will. There she goes. I don't know, I'm not as sad about that one as I am like with Fellis. Because one, like at this point, it is now inevitable that all of them are going to fade away and die. Sakura went out struggling, like fighting for the plan. Pardo and everyone before felt like they were just removed, like they were untimely killed, right? That's why they hurt so much, especially Pardo, with how like desperate she was in those last moments. From Vilvi on, it's going to feel from Calpis on, actually, it's going to feel like they're dying for the purpose of defeating this Hersher, so it's less it's less soul crushing. And at this point it is now a foregone conclusion that all of them are going to be deleted. Man, so I really like Sakura. I talked about it before when I thought she was already dead. Sakura's really interesting. Sakura's really cool. And the fact that like we're facing down the Hersher of Corruption again. Like it like she said, it's giving her a second chance. She's able to, all the regrets that she's had, she's being able to like bypass. Because like she said there, she didn't die before Alicia this time. Which let her know that no, it still sucks, actually. And she's able to go out fighting this time, not like in regret. And I think that's a really cool ending for Sim Sakura. Oops. Last dance is about to take place. Okay. Follow your heart and set forth. Okay.
どうだい約束
Well,
通
just
り
like we intended.
ケビンを退場
I
さ
let
せた
Kevin
よ
retreat.
彼の力が君の一部になっている
His
ね
strength became part of you, just
ま
like
るで
two
二
pieces
つ
of
の
bubblegum
ガムが
merging
く
into
っつく
one.
ように
Tell me, how does that feel? It's definitely
ちょっ
surprising.
とこれが人間のた
It's
ど
hard
り
to
着け
believe
る
that
高さ
a,
だね
a human could achieve such high
本当
altitude.
に信じる
Aptitude.
何せ
He's
あの
Kevin
ケビン
after
だから
all.
ねさて
Alright,
本題
down
に
to
入ろう
business.
か
Seems like you don't trust
な
me
ん
very
となく
much.
ライデン・メイ
Right, May is only
彼
a
女はた
Hersher.
だの律者
Oh,
に
that's
過ぎ
rude
な
of
い
me to say. Both of you are the
おっと
same
とに
kind.
かくなぜ
Anyway,
この
I
時
don't
点
know
で
why
彼
you're
女に
striking
手を
at
出
her
したい
now,
のかは
but
わからないけ
I
ど
don't know. Should be enough for that,
私一
right?
人理由は単純だよビルビ
The reason is simple, Vilvi.
ー今になっても私の意図を知らないかのように振る舞っているのに
This look you have when you pretend to be ignorant of my
目
intentions
立って
catches
な
my
いとでも思
attention.
ってるおや確かに面白い仮説だね
Oh, there's an interesting hypothesis indeed.
律者に侵食されない性質
A
それに
culture that
加
cannot be
え
corrupt and the
思考
ability to
分割の
partition
能
the
力
mind. I worry that I'll join
私が
forces
彼
with
女
her.
とそうは言ってないよ私はあくまで手助けしたいだけ
I said no such thing. I only wanted to help you.
いや君の考えは正しいよ
No, you're right.
彼女と
She
手
and
を
I
組
maybe
み
we're soon opponents
Sa
as
ni,
well. We
アポニア
definitely
と
have a
スー
chance
の
to
協
create
力
domain
があ
and
れ
render your
ば
ability to corrupt useless.
確かにでもやっぱり心配しすぎだ
But you worry too much.
彼女は律者だからその
After
思
all,
考を
she is
分
a
割するに
Hersher.
は
I need a
相応の
consent
許
before I
可が
can
ないといけ
partition
な
her
い
mind. But that's impossible to get. But we
明ら
potentially
かに
had
そ
that
れは
already
不可能
happen
でしょ
with Oh, wait. Was pure evil Vilvi working with us the whole time? That's also not true. Because she was partitioning. She partitioned us trying to, like, defeat us.
それに仮にできたとしても雷の律者は記憶体のような存在になってしまう。
Once we do that, Hush of Thunder will be like a memory replica.
逆に
She'll
君
lose the
に
very
干
trait
渉
that
され
made
ない
you
という
help us
性
against
質
her.
を失っ本気でそんな提案を受け入れると思ってる
Do you
のか
think she
な。
would take up such a suggestion?
説得するってあなたにとって本当に難しいことだったり
It's
するの？
convincing her.
詐欺師さ
That is
ん。
good feat for a con artist. A grave expression began to cross Vilvi's face.
生死を握っているにもかかわら
So you
ず
refuse to let me act
単
alone
独
even
行
when
動
you have my
さ
life
せ
in
る
your
気はないっ
hands?
て。
だってあなたのことが心配だからね。
Because I care for you.
どうやら君に対しての認
Seems
識
like my
が少々間
understanding he
違
was
って
off
い
the
たよ。
mark. Oh?
脅威を感じてたまたまエリシアを完全削除した。
You won't
そう
say
言って
that.
たね。
You only delete Alicia unintentionally because you were in a panic frenzy from feeling threatened.
ロジック的には確かに
Magazine, I
完
thought
璧
that
だ
was a
けど
reasonable explanation, but
今はますます
Now I
怪しく
can't
思
help
え
but
るん
suspect.
だ。本当に
are you sure that it wasn't intentional? The rush of memories stopped abruptly. Not because she was limited in power, but because she was getting increasingly frustrated.
いつも通
Nothing
りだね。
has changed.
どんなに人の感情を取り
No
込んで
matter
も
how much human emotion
所詮
you
は
may
ウイル
gain,
ス。
is ultimately a form of
私
vice.
の能力で
I'm
は
afraid my powers.
おそらくあまり効果は
She lowered her head to look at her hands, full of self-loathing like in the
戦
past.
後
Purpose used his
彼
life
は自分の
to
命と
ensure
引き
that I
換
could touch the Hurture of Corruption more.
えなのに
Yet I can only
私が探れ
investigate
る
her
のは
memories.
記
Is
憶
there
の
no way
み
for me to communicate with her consciousness? Now, as the most peculiar individual in the realm, Epony was constantly providing information for the surviving flame chasers through her touch. Sakura's innocence, the emergence of the Hersher, the truth of the cataclysm. Flowing hymns spread the memories she could touch to every corner of the realm until they reached their ears. There was only one person, in reality and in the realm, who could achieve this unaided while corrupted. Through her touch, she could face the Hersher of Corruption head-on, and pursue her deepest thoughts in a way she was most familiar with. She had already acknowledged that Hershers simulated human minds. Even if data were unable to defeat them, it was possible for their souls to be broken, just like humans. Just like the Ace Hersher from the past. Eight is sentience, right? I mean, that would make sense with the
意識
minds.
に介入できれば
If I can interrupt the consciousness, I
正しい
might be able to
道
lead the way.
へ。しかし
But how much time do I have
私に
left?
残っ
Huh?
ここまで突破してきた。
To think they can already break in here.
つま
Have they
り
grown
さらに
again?
成長したの。
共に終わるよ。どうして結末の余韻に耳を傾けよう。ご覧、未来の情景。ここに次元せよ。結末の余韻に耳を傾けよう。
侵食を遅らせるためとは
Looks
い
like it takes far more energy
え、
than I
力を消耗
expected
しすぎている。
to hinder the corruption.
それとも時間を無駄遣いし
Did
す
I
ぎたの？
take too long? Using her unique characteristic in the realm, Epony made two decisions after being corrupted, and halved her energy to proceed with both ideas simultaneously. One was to form a connection with the Hersher of Corruption's consciousness and reconstruct it, like she had tried to when she was still alive, to neutralize the danger. Another was to slow the corruption down and maintain her control over data using her powers of mental perception. This was the only way she could convey any information obtained to everyone in the realm while investigating. But now,
残された時間が短くなってきている。
the idea is going to fail. She sank into hesitation. From her past attempts, she knew that she could no longer balance between the two methods. She had to place all her energy on the path with a better chance. Yet, it was impossible to conclude which side held a better
侵
chance.
食がさらに進めば、
If I allow the
相手
corruption
の
to
意識
fester,
に潜り込め
it
るかも
can
しれ
dive
ない。
deeper into her consciousness.
しかし、
But if I am unable to
も
find
し
an
その後に
opportunity to reconstruct her
相
mind,
手の意識を作り直すきっかけを見つけられなければ、ここに残って律者の記憶を
it is
探っ
also
たとしても、
possible to yield nothing if I continue to read the Hersh's
何も
memories here. Is this how it feels to make a
未知の
decision
未来を前に
without
して、
knowing the future?
随分と長い
It's been
間、
a long time since I
こ
faced
んな
such
状況に
situation.
遭遇していなかっ
At times like this, I'm even weaker than the average person. That was true. She ironically lacked experience in such common scenarios. But at the same time, she mostly felt comfortable in her heart. Even though she didn't know what future awaited her, she still felt that doing this was
た。
meaningful.
エリシア、
Alicia,
これ
is this also what you wished
あ
for?
なた、
There was not enough time. Then,
こうし
do
ましょう。
this. Face the consciousness of corruption.
侵食の律者、
Pressure of corruption. Please
私の
come into my arms.
懐へ来てください。ここなんだね。
Is this it?
戦後、
Help us.
どうして
How can this
デ
be?
ータを略奪した
Does she
後、
imprison every existence deemed
価値
valuable
のある
here
存在を
after
拘
the
束
data
して
has
る
been
の。
stolen?
戦後、
Help us.
おっと
Ha,
やっと
You're
来たのか
finally
ポニ
here,
ア
Ponia.
俺を助けに来てくれた
Have
の
you
か
come to get me out?
あなた、
You.
この話し方
This
は
tone. No.
彼
It's
に
not him.
は。しかし、
But
どうしたんだ
What's wrong?
てっきり俺を
I thought
見て
you'd be
喜ぶか
happy
と
to
思っ
see
て
me.
たここは本当に面
It's quite
白い
interesting here,
けど
but I've had enough.
それもここまで
Get
に
me
し
out
よ
of
う
here quickly.
彼の喋り方、
why does he speak a
なぜ
little
か
like Alicia?
もしかして、
What if
これは
this
残
is
され
his
た意識
preserved
ではなく、
consciousness, or rather a fake
侵食の
reconstruction by
律
the
者は
Hershey of corruption?
自分なりの解釈で模造。戦後、
Kappas, didn't you
あなた、
come here willingly?
自ら
Willingly.
俺にはまだ
I
や
still have
り
so
たい
much
ことが
left
た
to
くさん
do.
残ってる俺が永遠にこ
Why
こに
would
残
I
る
stay
そ
here
んなわけ
forever?
ない
やりたいことなんて。
Things left to do. Kappas, do you
戦後、
still have plans that I don't
あ
know?
なた、
計画
Plans.
そんなものが必要な
That
のか
sort of thing require a
そのまま連れ
plan.
出してくれれば済
Just
む
get
話
me
じゃない
out
か
of here and
俺たちで人類を皆
let's
殺し
kill
にす
every
る
human
んだ
alive and wipe
人
out
よがりで
their
身勝手か
selfishly
つ無能
ugly,
な醜い存
arrogant, and
在を
useless existence.
すべて抹殺し
How
よう
about that?
聞いてるだけでゾクゾクする
Sounds
そう
interesting,
思わない
right?
か
もういいよ。
That's enough. Hershey
侵
of
食の
corruption.
律戦後は私の友
Kappas is
人
my
だ。
friend. You want to announce your
勝
victory?
利を宣言
You
したい
can
の
use
な
other
ら、
methods.
そのように侮辱
I
する
won't
こと
allow
は
you to humiliate him
許さない。
like this.
侵食の律者何を言ってるとっくにあの箱に封じたじゃないか
Your corruption. What are you talking about? Haven't it already been sealed away in that box long ago?
俺だよ千号
It's
だ
me,
顔をよく見てみ
Calpus.
ろ
Look at
俺
my
のことを
face.
覚えてないの
Don't
か
you remember me?
何かがおかしい。
Strange. This isn't the
彼
Kappas
は
I know. But
私
it
の知
isn't
る
the
戦
Hershey
後
of
では
corruption
な
either.
い。
And
しかし、
this tone that belongs to
侵
Alicia.
食の一体何が起きている
What exactly went wrong?
の？ウィルビー、
Ilvi. So
や
you're
っぱり
also, or you've also.
あなたも
I wonder if it's like, if the memory pieces of the things they've defeated are, or absorbed are like, combining?
あなたもここに来たの？
too.
また
エリシアの喋り
どうしたの？
Why, something
何か
wrong?
変なところ
Come
で
over
もあ
here.
る？
I'm so worried about
い
you.
え、なんで
It's
も
nothing. Just
ただ
didn't think you'd keep
あ
this
なたが
carefree
この状
attitude of
況でも
yours.
まさか
Have you
忘れ
forgotten?
ているの？
If we're here, it means that
こ
we're
こにいる時点で
already dead.
そんなわけないじゃない。
How can that be,
アポニア。
Apollonia? If that's true, how can you be standing before me like
あ
this?
ら、もしかして
Oh my,
ど
you
こか気
feeling
分が悪い？
unwell? An ordinary tone. Except this was clearly Vilvi, not
ヴィ
Alicia.
ルビー
Vilvi,
天才
even
の
though
す
it
るこ
wasn't
と
a
には
genius move,
聞こえな
to
い
my
かもしれ
knowledge,
ないけど
you've also chosen to sacrifice yourself
私
to
の
go
知る
against
限
the
りで
Hersher
は
of Corruption.
アポニア、冗
Don't
談
make
はよ
jokes
し
like
て。
that, Apollonia.
さ
Even
も
I
な
can
い
get upset if you
と、さすが
continue.
それって私が一番
That's the thing
嫌
I
うこ
hate
とじゃない。
most. How could I possibly have
そんな
done
こと
that?
嫌う
Hate.
犠牲に
Filthy
対して
harbor. Did Filthy
そんな
harbor such
敵意を持っ
animosity
ていたの？
toward sacrifices?
そうなの
Really?
けど
But your death was a
あなた
meaningful
の死
one.
には
Perhaps
確かに意味が
it's
あ
the
っ
key to turning the tables.
私は受け入れられない。
I just can't accept it.
意味なんて
Meaningful
だ
and
って
all.
他の人にとってもそ
Because
れは重い
to
傷でし
some
ょ？
people, this also hurts them
あま
deeply.
り理解できないから
Don't quite
もう少
understand.
し
Can you
詳
tell
し
me
く
more?
話して
Be a bit more specific. It would be the idea that, like, you know, the people that care about her would be sad that she did.
うーん、
Although I'm just
他人の気もだって
projecting my beliefs.
みんなのこと好きだから。
I love everyone,
それ
so
に
no matter how
どんな
noble the
崇
cause
高な
may
目
be,
的が
I
あろう
prefer
と
if everyone cherishes
み
every
んな
day
に
of their
は
life instead.
みんなの笑顔が消え
That
ない
way,
こと。
everyone's smiles would disappear.
私にとって
To me, that's the
それが
most
一番
important
大
thing.
どうやら全ての
Looks
鍵
like
は
Alicia is still the key to
い
everything.
まだエリシアにあ
Would
る
she be here? That does sound very Alicia, way more than Vilvi. Not a single trace of Alicia can be found in this world of thought. Because, like, Alicia's whole thing is how much she cares about everybody. She's right.
そう
Why
ね
would someone uncorrupted appear here?
けど
But every
こ
trace
こ
of
にある意
consciousness
識は
here
全て
displays Alicia's
エリシア
characteristics.
のまさか
Could it be
私の考え通り
just
な
as I thought? Not just her
彼女の
looks,
容姿
actions, and speech,
振る舞い
even her emotions,
喋り
been
方
taken away by the Hersher of Corruption. That was clearly unacceptable. So,
英傑に
the
対する
corruption
侵
she
食は
inflicts on the Flame Chasers are done
全
out
て
of love.
彼女は嘘をつ
He
いて
did
い
not
ない
lie. When we gave up everything,
全てを誰かに決戦を仕掛けた時も彼女はただ自分なりのやり方で私たちの命を救おうとしていただけ
he did not lie. When we gave up everything and fought to our deaths, she was really just trying to save us in her own way. The truth was no longer important. It was true then, her failure was indisputable. She wanted to reconstruct the Hersher's mind through a certain turning point and change her behavior. But if she did it out of love, and even if that love has long been misplaced, how could she be turned around?
私は
Am I
今になって
still
も
powerless? She couldn't help but imagine a future where the Hersher of Corruption had succeeded. Everything outside ceased to exist, and only a concept named Alicia stayed in the world, eternally.
同じ思いを抱えなが
The
らも
start was the same objective, but
全
reached
く違
completely
った
different
結
ends.
末へと
Because
導
Alicia,
かれる
not that I think Alicia would necessarily want to die if all the other Flame Chasers also died, but Alicia would not want a future where she's the only one left. But the Hersher of Corruption is almost like absorbing everyone so that they're always with her, but that's not the same as them actually being there. It is the same, like what she's saying, it's the same objective, but it's a very different conclusion to what Alicia would actually reach.
けどそれは決して
But that's definitely
エ
not
リ
the
シアの
future that
望んだ未
Alicia
来では
wants.
ない私は
I can't stop
ここで
here. Huh. She had a sudden realization. That's the thing I hate most. How could I possibly have done that?
エリシアがあんな風に強く拒むなんてありえない
No,
It's impossible for Alicia to voice out such a strong rejection.
まさか
Was I?
最初から考えがここは侵食の律者の
Not the Hersher of Corruption's mind.
心の
Ah,
ま
Well,
さ
here
か
comes Mobius.
so
あ
it
なただったなんて
is you.
Are we in like a Mobius partition?
あなただったなんて
I've never thought that
思い
it'd be you.
ここは
This is not the
律者の
Hersher's mind.
心の中ではな
It's your
く
domain.
聞き慣れた話し方も
That
エ
familiar
リシアの
tone
ものではな
doesn't
い
belong to Alicia. It belongs to your usual
It's my-
imitation. I'm overjoyed to meet you
メビ
here,
ウス
Mobius.
I'm the one that should be making that
そう
expression.
あなた
Don't you think you kept me waiting for a little too
も
long?
しかして
What? You
本当
can't
に
possibly
私が
believe that I'll
あんな
disappear
風に
without a
あっけ
word
な
like
く
that,
終わ
can
りを
you?
迎え
Yeah, no. Her being
思
off
っていたの
screen was never going to be the case. I knew she would have something more to do. I kind of thought she would have like left something with Klein as her role, and like Klein would be the one to act out Mobius's like vengeance or whatever. But this also makes sense
そんな風に思ってた人がいたなら
because she knew the Hersher of Corruption was coming.
その人は
So
あなた
she,
のことを
I
理
assume
解
she
で
did
きていないん
something
だろうね
that like preserved her within this to enact some kind of plan.
If someone really believed that, then they know nothing about
とな
you.
るとなんと
Then
なく
I now understand
分かった気が
what
する
that
よ
Kalpus and Vilvi I saw really
さ
are.
っきメビウス
Mobius,
あな
was
た
your
の実験
experiment
は
a success?
何
Why
に
is it
驚く必要
surprising?
つまり
So am
あ
I,
なたは
your last line
私
of
をも
defense.
し事態を収められなくなった
You
私が
Can only confirm the
侵食
need
を
to
受け
release
て
it if the
ここを
situation got so
訪れれば
severe that I can't handle it
あ
and
な
the
たは
corruption started to spread
それ
here.
を放つ必要性があるかどうか
あら
Oh,
あなたから見
do you
た
really
私
see me as such a
そん
cautious
なに慎
person?
重勝手に思い込まない
Don't
で
think
ちょ
too
うだい
highly of yourself,
アポニ
Aponia. I
今
was
まであ
only
なた
willing
を
to
待
wait
ち続
because
け
I
てい
still
た
have
の
use for you.
まだ
そう
Really,
な
as I
ら
am now,
今の
What can you
私
use
に
me
何
for?
ができるか
enlighten me.
防壁を破って楽
Break the
園を
barrier
現
and
実に
connect
つ
the
なげる
realm
の
to reality,
Aponia.
Aponia. Then
そして
send me to where
私
Klein is.
クラ
Okay.
インのと侵食の律者の支配下で
Under the
そんなこと
Under the
がで
Hersher of
きるのは
Corruption's control, only
あ
you
なただけ
can accomplish this for me. Only you can accomplish this for me. Mobius had never held others in such high regard, which gave away the crisis the genius was in. Why are we popping, Cinda? Huh? Why are we popping? Her judgment was entirely correct. At this time, the realm had been completely corrupted, and Vilvi had gone. The only possibility of breaking that barrier lay in herself. In the dying era, she chose to merge her mind with the realm, and thus she was nigh omnipotent in this world. However, their enemy was from outside this world. To fight it, they naturally had to resort to power that was equivalent to this world itself. But that meant she must blend Eponia's everything. Does that... I'm not sure if this is talking about Mobius or Eponia. I feel like it's talking about Eponia. Because that is what would make, like, sense with, what we've seen happen and Eponia's powers. But, like, the grammar here makes it seem like Mobius. But it wouldn't make sense for it to be Mobius, because we know what Mobius's ending was. You think you have a foolproof way to kidnap me? And what's that? Are you gonna Jocelyn in a box again? That meant she must blend Eponia's everything. But if Mobius's plan did not succeed afterward, it would be a meaningless sacrifice. Read that again. And you gifts you hop in the box and return and dress perfect crimes. Cinda, me, like, getting to you would not be the problem. Yeah, okay, I think this is talking about Eponia. What's wrong? You've already come down to this. Don't pretend to be reluctant.
いいえ、
No,
私はただ
don't know how I can thank you. She answered with a relieved
線
smile.
香が立ち去った
When
時、
Kalpis left, I
Yaksoku
promised him
shita
that
na.
I would redeem the sin I'd committed then.
自分
I
は
thought that I would have
あの
to
時の罪
go
を
back on
償
those
うと
words.
何せ
In the
あれ
past,
が世に現
it
れた
only
の
came to this. I only came in the
私の
past.
せいだか
It
ら
only
ね。
came to this world because of me, after all. But this
メ
time,
ビウス、
Mobius, you won't let
私
history
たち
repeat
に同
itself,
じ
right?
過ち。
当たり前でしょ。
Of course, I'm not like you.
では、
Then,
望むが
I'll
ま
do
ま
as you
に。
wish. For no reason, Eponia recalled something. Before me, nothing existed in this world. Whatever can last for eternity is settling inside my body. When she bid that world farewell, she swore to use her body to carve the whole of that person into history. Yet her body was about to crumble. But the thing that could last an eternity shall return because of their prayers.
勝てない敵
An undefeatable enemy?
なら
Then
同
let
じ
me
よう
give her an
に
equally
勝てない
undefeatable
相手彼
opponent.
女とあいつ
Do you want to
ど
know
ち
if
らが
she's
強い
stronger than
か
it?
見てみ
I
たい
can't
と
wait
思
to
う
find
の
out.
いいでしょう。
Alright. But hey, you know, I won't say no to you sending me stuff. I'll take free stuff. Like a newly hatched butterfly that rose from the depths and fluttered towards the bright
叶う
horizon.
のなら、
If you can, please
私の代わりに。
apologize to it in my stead.
かつて
To the former.
第
Well,
12律者へ。
To Rin? Wait, are we reconstructing Rin? Oh! Okay, that'll be really interesting. So, especially if we're doing this with the actual Rin personality rather than the Hersher of Corruption. Rin, similar to Alicia, was filled with like love and compassion, where the Hersher of Corruption was like pure malice and rage and vengeance. If it has the original Rin personality, that would probably just beat out this Hersher of Corruption, who is full of fake love and empathy.
I 私はこいつをメビちゃんって呼んでるんだ。
I named a little Moby.
ぴったりな名前
Very
だと思わない？
affectionate name, isn't it?
メビウス博士のように
The
驚
imitation
き
of
と喜
Chris
びを
Hatches,
兼ね
just
備
like
えた
Dr. Mobius.
第
Full
12
of
律者
fun
の
and
模倣品
surprises.
さ。
She really managed to complete
彼
it.
女
He
は
even
本
hit
当
it
に
here.
完成させたんだ
Right.
ね。
No. Okay.
しか
Okay.
も
That might be what it is.
こんな場所に隠してたなんて。
They said that Mobius was working on like recreating the Hersher of Corruption's abilities.
しかし、
So we're not
残念なことに、
recreating Rin.
この魔術師の
We're
警眼からは
using
逃
that
れられなかったね。
experiment. Oh, well, what a pity. Nothing can hide from the magician's eyes. Vilvi lightly held a small black cube between her
現実では
fingers.
このことで大喧嘩したのにね。
We even had a big fight over this.
いつにな
Come
ったら
Dr.
分かって
Mobius
くれ
finally
るんだろう。
understand. As long as I'm
この
around,
ビル
her
リーがい
title
る
as
限
owner
り
of the realm is
楽
only
園の
ornamental.
主の肩書きにはね。
Don't you
私の言う
agree?
通りでしょ。
As no surprise that she
彼女
personally
の手
created.
によ
What
っ
do
て
you
こずな。
think? Cosma. She looked at the other person in the room from the corner of her eyes. Well, what does that mean?
それは
It depends
俺
on
の
whether
要
you
求
can
を
accept
飲め
my
るかどうか
request.
による。もしメビウスでさえできな
If
か
you
った
can
こと
do
を
what
成し
even
遂げれ
Mobius
ば
cannot, then you're
自
naturally
然
more
とあんたの
outstanding
方
than
が
her.
おや、断り
Oh,
がたい
that's
値段を
definitely
つ
a
けるんだ
tempting
ね。
offer.
でも残念なことに、
Unfortunately, I'll
はっ
just
き
be
り言って
honest.
おくけど、
I can't do it.
私にはで。 それは確かに面白い考
That
えだよ。
suggestion is truly interesting.
思考分割で
Partition in the
自
mind
身
will
の意
leave
識を
one
独立したパーティション
part of
に
your
保存す
consciousness
る
in
こ
an
とで
isolated area.
過重長
It's
編によ
below
る
the
意識への
the
影響を
overmetamorph
緩めるなん
effects on
て
your mind. Okay, so they partitioned part of
だ
cosmos.
けど実際のと
From
ころは
reality,
理
the
性の
rational
部
part
分
of
の
your
意識が目
consciousness
覚め
cannot
な
be
いのさ。
awakened. I've tried something
似た
similar
ような
before.
こと
My
はすでに
father was
試
created
し
as a
てる
result.
君も見たように
As you can
あ
see,
れが
she's
親
not
しみや
exactly
すい
very
とはと
personable.
てもいい。
そうか。
Okay.
スーを訪ねてみたら
Perhaps you can try a look with Sue or
Aponia?
Aponia.
すでに聞いた。
I've tried.
答え
They
はあ
gave
ん
me
た
the
と一
same
緒だった。
answer you gave.
私
Huh?
って3
It's
番目
only
だ
a
ったの
third choice after
それも
Aponia?
アポニアの方を
All
優先
right. The young girl shrugged. Although her disappointment did not show on her face, she seemed helpless.
その要求
I'll do it. Now that's a good
さっき
expression.
まで自分にはできないと言っ
You
ていた
just
は
said
ず
that you
だ。
can't do it.
仕方ないじゃない
I can't help it.
私が一
Even
番の
I
適任者
feel
じ
a
ゃない
little
なんて
competitive knowing that I'm not your
さすがに
the first person to look
勝
you
負だ
look
それ
to.
にできないと
And
いう
when
言
I
葉
said
に
I
は
can't do it,
他の
I
意味
was
もある
referring
の
to
さ
something else. Sure you were.
君の仮説は別に実現できないわけじゃないよ
It's not like I can't fill
自
your
らの手
quest.
で仲間を一
I'm
人
not sure
殺
I'm
すなん
determined
て
enough
私
to
にそんな覚悟
be
が
able
あ
to
るかどう
calm
か
around myself.
わか
回りくどい話し方はやめてくれ。
Don't beat around the bush.
それだよそれだ
This is
から
why
君
you're
は
the most suited to
観
be an
客ではな
assistant
く
rather than a
助手の
spectator.
方さてと
Let me
ど
think,
こ
where
か
shall I
らそう
begin?
そう
Oh,
学
I'm
園
sure
で
you've heard
記
about
憶
the
体がもう
consequences
一
of
人
the
の記
memory
憶体を
replica
殺したらど
killing
う
another
な
in
る
the
か
realm, haven't
聞
you?
いたことはあるよね
俺の知る限りではどうにもな
From
ら
what
な
I
い。
know, it won't make a difference.
その通り通常な
Normally
らそうな
speaking,
る
you're
さ
right. To the importance of flame chasers memory replicas,
その
they
重
create a
要
backup
性
in
ゆ
the
え
they
に
create a backup in the realm once
4.1
every
秒ごとに
4.1
爆
seconds.
死者となってもデータが復元されることで記
For
憶
the
の消
dead,
耗はほぼ
after
ゼ
their
ロと
data
な
has
る
been recovered from their backups, their memories are practically
つまり
unaffected.
一度死んでもその事実に気づきにく
In
い
other words, they might not even realize that they even die once.
しかし君の仮説から
That
考
was
え
your
れば
idea. Things will
状
be
況は
completely
全く
different.
違ってくる
両者の間には。
It seems that between those two.
やっと気づいた
Have you finally noticed?
君の過重長編は家庭的
You
には
cannot
不可
reverse
逆
the
なんだ
progress of your over
君自身に
metamorphic
とって
To you,
そ
it's
れ
more
はあ
like
る
a
種の
form of
継
continuous
続だか
decay.
らどう分
And
割しよ
therefore,
う
you
と
can't solve
バッ
the
ク
root
ア
of
ッ
the
プを
problem
使
by
って入れ
partitioning
替
and
えよ
using
うと
backups as replacements and
根本的
links.
ただ他人よりも多くの
Unless
部
I give
分を
up
切り
more
捨て
than
れ
the
ば。
others.
その通り
That's
私な
right.
ら
Of
も
course,
ち
I
ろん
can
思考
partition
だ
your
けを分
mind and
割
save
し
what you
て
have now.
今もしある日君がとある選択によって自我を失っ
After
た
that,
と
if
し
you
て
ever
も
lose yourself because of a
君
sudden
を殺
decision
し
one
バッ
day,
クアップを
you'll
使
have
え
to
ば
return as a
その
human
身へ
with
と
your
戻
death
せる
and
だろ
backup. You'll be able to return as a human with your death and
うけ
backup.
ど代価としてその間に経
But the
験した
price
全
is
てを
you
失っ
lose
てし
everything
ま
you
う
experience in this direction. Okay, so she partitioned off this part of Cosma. But that means that nothing. There's still a Cosma backup. But it's this partition which is, like, inactive, basically. So everything that he's done since this partitioning basically, like, is stuck in that. It won't. None of it's been backed up. So if he dies, like, he would go back to before the partitioning.
不和のようにか。
Just like, wow.
全く違うよ
Not at all. I love why I lost the memories. Those experiences
経
still
験
have
した
traces
全
in
て
her.
がたとえ記憶になくて
Even
も
though she doesn't remember
ず
them,
っ
she
と
still
所持
has
したま
them.
まなんだよ
For you, once you've
でも
made this
君の
decision,
場合は
you're bound to lose
一旦
everything
決
you
めたら
experience after.
その後の経験は必ず全
That's an
て失
interesting
ってしまう
difference. Fuhua is deleting them, but they still happen, they're still there. They probably, like, could be recovered in some manner if that was necessary. Whereas here, literally, like, if it gets removed, it's gone.
つまり思考が分割された時点で
In other words,
体に残った
from the
君
moment
は
your
生き
mind
て
has
る
been
とは言えな
partitioned,
くなるん
what's
だよ
left of you isn't quite alive
ど
anymore.
ちらがいいか天秤にかけろ
It's
と。
picking between the lesser of two evils
そういうこ
again.
とか。
そうだよ
Yes,
人
to
間
live
と
as a
して
human was
手ぶ
thus
ら
in
で
order to
生き
become a
るか
monster along with
それ
everything
と
you
も
want to say,
自分の
along with
全てを
everything
持
you
っ
have
たま
one
ま
day.
怪物
Here's
にな
some
るか
thought. Truly a difficult choice. The young girl paused, worried if what she was about to say was too
That-
apathetic.
善を尽く
After
せる
all,
ことなんて
you can't
ありえ
have
な
the
いから
best of
ね。
both worlds.
強いて言えば
In
害
fact,
を被る
you
結
can
末
most
を迎え
likely
る方
you'll
が
most
十
likely
分ありえるだろうし
you're more likely to lose on both
害
ends.
を被る
Lose on both ends.
計画には俺の知らないような懸念点
There
で
are
もあ
other
るのか
there are other concerns that I don't know of in this plan.
ムーの事件以来
Other than the time in
過
Moon,
重長編を
you've never
完全
fallen
に解
unless
放
you
したことはないん
overmetamorph
でしょ
that. We don't know if we have the
私
power
た
to
ちが
kill
あの
you in
状
that
態の
state.
それで
So,
検証でもしたい
you
のか
need a trial.
そうだよ
Yeah, go now, Cosmo.
すでに
If
決め
you've
たな
already
ら
made up your
ケビ
mind,
ンを呼んできて
get Kevin to come over here.
君は今日死ぬことで
Can only live forever if you die today.
安心してさくら
Don't worry, Sakura.
私がまだ死なない
As
限
long
り
as I have not
あ
died,
なたは
you
永
can
遠
live
に
forever.
生きる
Despite how everything seemed to contradict that statement, it wasn't a lie. She was going to end everything before her out and learned love. She was going to end everything before her out of a learned love. Yeah, okay, so it's what I was saying before. She's taken, this is literally like anti-Alicia in a way. It is the same, it is the same starting point, but where Alicia's love wants to live with everyone, the Hersher of Corruption is taking everyone into herself, basically, so that they can never really be lost. But Alicia would, like, immediately say that, like, but that's not them living, that's not the same thing as being with them for as long as you can. For even a short time, Alicia would find better than this. Along with a long sigh, all of Sakura's data was finally taken by her. Sakura's very last moment also passed, never to return. After she calculated the time she needed silently, the Hersher of Corruption did not move. Instead, she leisurely began to create a perfect illusion for
元
Sakura.
気な妹
Your sister's safe and
崩
sound
壊のない世
in a
界
world without Honkai.
満開の
An
桜と
afternoon
午
when
後
cherry
のひと
blossoms
とき
bloom. It didn't take much of her time. Just like every other flame chaser, what Sakura really wanted was very simple. In the era they lived in, anything more than what they wished for would seem too unrealistic. Yet, they could not even achieve those simple
ねえ
things.
さくら
See,
こうやって
Sakura,
生きる方が
I think it's much more
もっと
humane to
慈
live
悲があ
like
るんじゃ
this.
あ
I don't get it.
本
Since
当
we're
によ
both
くわから
Alicia,
ない
and we both want all of you to
自分も
survive,
含めた全てを
compared
守
to
りきる
sacrificing yourselves, fusing
自己
together
犠
to
牲よ
protect
りこ
everyone
っちの
clearly
方
achieves
が
the best of both
善を尽く
worlds.
したと思え
Why
るの
must all of you be so stubborn?
さてさっきし
Okay,
たことが
to
無
make
駄
sure
に
that
ならな
everything
い
I've
よ
done
うに
isn't in vain.
Sakura,
Sakura, I have to make haste
本
too.
来完璧であるた
I
め
shouldn't
には
admit
認めるべきでは
this
ないけど
I shouldn't admit this to sustain this perfection,
確
but
かに彼女の推
You're
測
right.
通り
this is
その手
definitely a
を
method
使ったら
that is definitely a
私
method
を
that can
蹴
kill
って
me.
も
But don't worry,
心配することはない
we will be fine.
私ずっと悪役を演じるのも疲れるし
Right. It's tiring
た
to
まに
always
は
play the villain.
ヒロインとかも
Let me
演
be
じ
the
させてほ
female
しい
lead
ね
once in a while. What?
あれ
Hmm?
楽園の防御
Everyone's
機能
defense
が
mechanism
ま
is
だ
still
動いて
working.
る
What a pity. I don't have time to eradicate all of you now.
今はじっくりしつけてあげる時間はないちゃんと受け取ってね
Data deleted.
やっはっやっせっ逃げられないわよやっ
Oh wow, she is just ripping them apart.
やっやっ
I will be honest, despite being really excited that I got her, I really don't like Miss Pink Elf. I think it is very not fun to play. Human ego, very fun to play.
メイ
No, May. I'm
もう
catching up
す
to
ぐ
you.
追いつくよ
Just as she entered that door, an abrupt rush of sorrow crashed into her, almost pushing her to the ground. How can this be?
どうなっているの
This feeling is... The strongest existence in the Elysian realm could barely contain herself together because of this sudden pain. But this emotion didn't belong to her. Is this Elysian's emotion? What happened? As an omniscient being, she immediately knew why. An enormous bird cage shot out of the ground, trapping her and the others inside.
あな なただったんだ。
So it's you,
コズマ。
Cosma.
あ
Are
な
you
たも
making the
戦
same
後と
decision
同
that
じ
Cap
選
has
択を
made?
するの？
You'll give up everything just to go
Nani
against me.
He seemingly recalled something, stopping in her tracks. She began to browse through Vilvi's data. I wonder if Vilvi being deleted got rid of the partition. For you, once you made a decision, you're bound to lose everything you experience
で
after.
も
But
コズマ。
Cosma, you ultimately
あ
chose
の
not
時
to
あなた
partition your
は
mind
ここで
then.
荷重長兵を
If you
解
unleash
放
your
すれ
overman
ば
morph here, nothing
あなた
will
に
remain
は
of you. Wearing Alicia's usual smile once more, she walked forward again. To her understanding, Alicia would never let herself wallow in sadness if she wasn't alone. The sight before her was just like she imagined.
一番遭遇したくなかっ
Just
た
what I
事態
hate
が
to see the most happen
再
yet
びよそれ
again.
とも
Or
あ
can
な
you
た
give
か
me
らも
another answer?
コズマ
Cosma?
無駄口は不要だ。
Enough
律書。
talk, Hersher.
ここはあんたの狩り
This
場
will
なのに
not
はなら
become
ない。
your hunting ground.
随分と冷た
What
い
a
呼び
cold way
方
to
だね
address me. Have you already
私
heard
に
about me?
私が勝
Including
てない
how
存在で
I'm
あること
undefeatable?
その表情
Looks like you
正
have.
面から立ち向かったところ
Since
で
you know that you don't stand a
何の
chance
証
against
拠
me
で
head
もあ
on,
なたもまたメイン
are
に
you
チャンス
also
を
here to
作
try
ろ
and
う
create an opportunity
と
for
試し
me?
に
試しなどではない。
It's not just a try.
ここからは一歩も
I'm
進ま
afraid
せ
you
ない
won't。be taking a step further.
侵食の律者。
Hersher's corruption.
あなたが倒れるまで
Until you're completely defeated? The young man nodded. This
ま
again.
たこうなる
Never
んだ
mind
ね
if it's someone
コ
else.
ズマ
But
私の
Cosma,
知る限り
from
で
what I know
は
about you,
いわゆる
don't
自
you
己
find
犠
that act
牲
of
に対
self-sacrifice
して
absolutely
あれ
unacceptable?
今まさに
Now,
自
were
ら
you
それ
really
を
right
実
with
行
doing
し
it
ようとし
yourself?
て
否定的
Unacceptable.
そんなこと。
I've never thought
一度
that
も思っ
way.
た。
いいよ
Alright.
あなたにあの
Although
こ
I
とを
really
思い
don't
出
want to
させる
remind
つ
you
もり
of what
はな
happened
かっ
that
たそれ
time,
より
but
あなた
It's
を
more
無駄
than-
死にさせ
it's
な
more
いことの
important to
方
stop you
が
from
もっ
dying in
とね
vain.
ムー大陸での出来事
Have you forgotten what
忘れ
happened
て
in
ないよね
Moo? You've never forgotten what happened in Moo, right?
今のあなたみたいに
Just like
他
you,
人にチャン
to
スを
create an
作るため
opportunity
に
for someone else.
グレーシュの
Chris,
父
your
親が
father.
名前を口にしてもいいでしょ
You don't mind if I bring up his name
勝
to
手
you?
にしろ。
Go ahead.
彼女の父親である
Your
コン
father,
は
Otto,
あなたから
made a
見て
decision that seemed like
被
he was
害を
picking the
天
lesser of
秤
two
にかけた
evils
ように思
and
える
easily
選択を
sacrificed
行った
himself.
同時にあ
And
な
that
た
was
も
also
害を
when he
被
made
る
you
こと
lose
となった
everything. He unfortunately turned into a monster.
死
He
で
still
あり
could not
友で
save
あ
his
る
own
仲間を
companion,
救えな
who
か
was a
っ
mentor and friend to him.
たほら
Think
あ
of
の
how
時
you
の気持
felt
ちを
then.
思い出してみもしあなたが同じことを
If you
繰
let
り返
history
してし
repeat
まえば
itself, you'll
あ
be
の時
pushing
の
the agony
恨
you
みを
felt back
他
then
の
onto
誰かの
others.
第九律者と違っ
Unlike
て
the ninth Hersher.
私はそん
And
な
that
余
some
地のな
villain
い
will
選
leave you
択を
with no
迫らせる
choice,
ような悪
alright?
人じゃない
確かにそうだ。だが、コンについての考えは
Nine
全
is
て間
nine
違っ
is
ている。
stars, right? Or well, no, it would have been Earth then.
Indeed. But your perception of Otto is far from the truth.
コズマ
Cosma, you don't have to
別に
force
無理し
yourself.
なくて
別に思ってもいないことを話してるわけじゃない。初めからコンは
From
害
the
を被
start,
ってなどいない。
Otto's decision was not choosing between two
彼は
evils,
善を尽くした
but
だけ
rather
だ。
getting the best of both worlds.
彼が俺に唯一の
It's
方法を教
precisely
えてくれ
because he
た。
found the only solution for me
だからこ
that
そ、
I can stand here
こ
before
う
you
して今
now
ここに立て
and
る
do
ん
what
だ。
I'm supposed to do.
どういうこと
What happened?
コズマの性
Cosma's
格と考え
personality
方
and
が
thoughts have completely
全く別
changed.
人のようになっ
But
て
he
いる
didn't partition his
冗
mind.
談はここまでだよコズマ
Enough playing around,
お
Cosma.
願いだと
Just
思っ
take
て
this as a plea,
あ
alright?
のここで決着をつけたと
Surely
ころ
there's no
で
doubt who will
は
win
知
this
ってる
fight.
はずだよ私
You
が
should
相
also
手で
know
は
if those backups
ビ
that
ルビ
those
ー
you
が言って
mentioned
た
are
バックアッ
ineffective
プで
against
自
me.
分がもう一度害を
Don't let
被るような
yourself
ことは
lose on both ends
もうやめ
again.
それ以上話すな。
Enough chatter.
分かったよ
Alright
こ
then.
こに来た時点で
Although I already knew what I was
向
up
き合う
against
も
when
の
I
がな
came
くて
here.
も
It's still an
本
insult.
当に皮肉
I'm
だね
supposed to be the villain. You're not
私は
forcing all you to
悪役なのに。
live again and again.
そう思うのも無理は
But
ない。
of course, Hersher's corruption.
何しろ、
No matter how you see
俺の方が悪役
I,
に
the
見える。
Norlican villain, no.
Mid.
結局こうなってしまうん
Yeah,
だね
this design is really mid.
どうしてそこまでするのコズマ
Well, for what?
ほら
Cosmo, look at what you've become. You
そんな
can't even
姿
speak
じゃ話
anymore.
もできないよ楽園から
I
出
hate
て
I really hate to
外の
say it.
世
I
界を
just
見
like
て
I
みた
think
い
this
と思わ
design
な
is
いの
extremely mediocre. Don't you want to leave the realm and see the
本物のケビン
world?
とグレイシ
The
ュ
real Kevin and Grizzly are
外であ
waiting
な
for
た
you
を待ってい
outside.
るよ。
I think it's interesting that we are playing as Alicia, or the Hersher of Corruption here. I also think it's really cool that they're showing like how invincible the Hersher of Corruption is by her meter never going down. The corruption is decreased? Cosma, you... Cosma, so is that what you're really after? It's true that simply unleashing Overmetamorph to enhance your powers makes no difference against me. But his Vishnu's instinct to devour, also effective against corruption. Which means since the beginning, you've been devouring yourself? No, even though it does have a delaying effect, I cannot stem it completely. It's only... With the interference of such a special trait, the corruption process became impossibly slow. Despite the exorbitant amount of time she originally had, there wouldn't be enough if she got held up here. This was an insufferable risk. Alicia, if it were you, what would you do? That was just a passing thought that she did not further entertain. Undoubtedly, there were differences between the both of them that could not be overcome with data. She could not give herself an accurate answer to the question, even if she worried over it. But there was something that she could not overlook. She did not even hesitate when she made a decision that the real Alicia would never make. Cosma, forgive me. Everyone I love has already attained an eternal perfect life within me. If I let all of you continue, it'll be equivalent to killing them again. Is that how it feels? Is that how it feels like choose between two evils? At least now, I can feel you. If this is the path you've chosen. She finally decided to use the ability that she'd only used once, despite how it could easily resolve everything. She's going to delete Cosma. Now that the realm's backup mechanism had been corrupted and damaged beyond repair, doing this would only yield one outcome. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't want to do this. But for everyone's sake, I can only delete you completely. I'll be honest, I really like the Hersher of Corruption in this way of like kind of an antithesis to Alicia, but like coming from the same place. I promise, when everything is over, I think it's really interesting. Cosma, I'll do whatever I can to recreate you. Because I think these feelings that she's saying and talking about are genuine. They're just misguided because of the way... Hey, I'm back, bitch. Because of the way in which the Hersher of Corruption, like, their existences and the way they were founded. This can't be. The deletion is complete. His data is also... Like, the way it awoke and, like, immediately it was like, oh, death, that's scary. Oh, is that it? Just because the data's disappeared doesn't mean it's been deleted? As expected. How naturalistic indeed. Looks like I've really missed a lot the time that Sakura disrupted my omniscience. Then to be careful. I don't want to hurt someone again. Or then be careful. Back into the abyss you go. Evidently, this arrow would have missed, even if it wasn't aimed at Cosma, who was in Overmetamorph. It was aimed far too haphazardly, as if it had given up on itself. Yet the meaningless attack made her giggle knowingly. Alright, come out now. I haven't agreed to be your model. The world before her eye. So, I don't think that might not have been real Cosma. That might have been Grizio, like, making a duplicate. The world before her eyes tore away at the corner where the arrow had landed, dumb like a spark landing
料
on
理で
paper.
コズマの性格が
That's
変わ
why
ってしま
Cosmo
ってい
changed
たん
so
だね
much. That's why he could
彼
fight
の
me
デー
even
タ
though
は
his
最
data
初か
had
ら消
disappeared
え
from
去
the
ってな
start.
るほどね
Because Cosmo
コズマは
has long been one of your
と
paintings.
っくにあなたの絵になっていた
So wait, has Sim Cosmo just been like gone for a while, and the Cosmo we've seen the whole time has been
グレーシ
Grizio?
ュ
Isn't that so, Grizio? I guess that would explain why his dialogue here at least was in quotes.
そうだよコズマ
Yep, go now,
すでに決めた
Cosmo.
なら
You've already
ケ
made
ビン
up
を
your
呼んで
mind.
きて
Get Kevin to come
君は
over
今
here.
日死ぬことで
You can only live forever if you die today. After a long silence, there was no response heard in the workshop.
そうだね
True,
確
you
か
don't
に
need to make a
すぐさ
decision
ま
right
期日
now.
のところ
In fact,
思考
the
分
later you
割を
partake
行
in
う
your
のは
mind, the better.
遅ければ遅いほどいい。
The later, the better.
思考分割した時
From
点
the
で
moment you partake in
君
your
の
mind,
人
your
生
life
は
is set
固
in
定
stone.
される
Vishnu gave you
ビ
the
シュヌ
ability
に
to
よって
grow
付与
endlessly,
され
but
た
its side
無
effect
限に成長
cannot
す
be
る特
neutralized
性
when you give up on that
その
growth.
その時間を後回し
The
にす
later
れ
you
ばす
do,
る
the
ほ
more
ど
things you can get
残せるものも
retain
多くな
now.
る
だが
But
これまで
this entire
俺
time,
が本当の意味で成
have I
長し
really
たことはある
grown
の
up?
私もそう自分に問いか
I've
けたこ
also
とが
asked
あるよ
myself that before, and I'm afraid the
答えは
answer's in the eye of the beholder.
そうなのか。
Okay,
頼み事を撤回したい。
I take back my request,
Billy.
Sylvie. I don't intend to
思考分
partition
割
my
を受
mind
けるのは
anymore.
おや
Oh. For a person who had always aspired to be a hero, this was a truly surprising
君もま
reply.
た持ってい
Do you
るもの
also
全てを
think,
背負うことが
like
大事だ
Kevin,
と思う
that
の
it's more
かい
important to carry everything you have with you?
誤解だビルビー。
You're mistaken, Vilvi.
俺はも
I've long given
う
up
彼
on
み
being
た
a
いな
hero
ヒーロー
like
な
him.
だ。
But just a
さっ
moment
きもう
ago,
一つの方
I
法
thought
を
of
思い
another
ついた。
idea.
それは
an idea that
善を尽くす
can
ことがで
achieve
き
the
る
best
方。
of both worlds.
以上があんたを訪ねた理由なんだ。フワ。
That's also why I came to look for you. What?
コズマ
Cosmo,
成功しましたか
did it work? A slightly concerned voice brought him back from his thoughts. When he opened his eyes, Eden had already left, but Hua remained standing next to him.
少なくともおかしな感覚はない。
At least I don't feel anything wrong. He raised an arm to demonstrate to the other two people. It had already been corrupted recently when he had tried to use Vishnu's ability to devour anything, to consume the monsters that the Hersher of Corruption manipulates.
本当ですね。以
Indeed,
前は復元できるケースなど存在しませんでした。そうなると、ビシュヌの特性を使って自身の侵食された部分を飲み込むという手術。
ああ、
yes,
しかし代
but
価
it
がない
comes
わ
with
け
a
ではない。
price.
侵食を受ける前と
Does
比
it
べ
take more
れば
energy?
力が消
Before you
耗してるん
corrupted?
です。
その通りだ。
Yes,
わずかではある
albeit
が、
minutely,
自身の一部が飲み込まれている。
but devoured a part of myself after all.
それに、
And
もし律者自らが侵食を行った場合、
I'm afraid I
お
can
そら
only
く
slow
遅ら
it
せる
down.
ことはできるが、
It'll be impossible to
Fukugen.
recover.
では、
Then,
私たちは
we can only rely
本
on
来
your
の計
ritual
画を
plan.
選彼女をエリシアに近づけさせない
To
ため
prevent
に
her
も
from getting any closer to Elysia,
私たちは
we must use
本来の計画
the original plan.
グレーシュ、
Grizio. This was not the first time Grizio had joined their conversation since Hua had brought news about the Hersher of Corruption to the other two. Before this, she was only speaking to Eden about something and displayed an uncaring attitude to the situation at hand. In fact, she was unable to understand what a Hersher really was. When she was involved in a similar situation in the past, she was merely a weapon with no will and had no need to understand the
大人の
circumstances.
話をしているんだ。
This is a
絵を描いていて
conversation
もい
among
い。
adults. You can continue painting.
大人
Adults. She looked at Hua and Cosmo with suspicion, seemingly showing a disapproval. Thankfully, just as always, she was very obedient to the young man who acted as her older brother, or even father figure.
さて、話を続けよう。
Let's continue.
本来の計画には、
This original plan you
グ
speak
レー
of,
シュも含まれるのか。
does it include Grizio?
ええ、
Yeah,
なら断らせて
then
もら
I
う。
decline.
雷の律者のために
If
時
it's
間を
only to
稼ぐ
buy
だけな
time
ら
for the Hersher of Thunder,
他の手段が
we
あ
have
る。
other ways to do it.
他の手段
Other ways?
先ほど自身で言っていたように
Against the Hersher of Corruption,
侵食の律者
even
が
you
相手
can
で
only
は
slow it down.
それにもしその過
And
程
after
が
she
かなり
notices
長引
that
く
the
と悟
process
ら
is
れたら
taking too long, she
彼
might
女
choose
は
to
おそら
delete you
く
immediately.
そうなってしまえば
In that
侵
case,
食を遅らせるこ
even
とで
slowing
さ
it
え
down
意味
would
を
be
失い
meaningless.
誤解しないでくれ。
You're mistaken.
実はさっき
Just a moment ago, I
もう
thought
一
of
つの
another
方法
idea.
それは
An idea that
善を尽くす
can
ことがで
achieve
き
the
る方
best
法
of
だ。
both worlds.
このやり方でも
This
同じ
idea
よう
also
に第
requires
八
us
の
to
神
use
の
the
鍵
ace
が必
divine
要とな
key.
る。
I need you
あん
to
たには
deceive someone
とあ
for
る
me.
人物を騙してもらい
Do
た
they
い。
have? I guess they have the other divine keys. Why wouldn't they have been hung down here?
神職の律者ですか？
Do you mean the hush of corruption?
わかりました。
I know.
コズマ、
Cosmo, are you
大人
done
の
this?
話は
The conversation among
まだだ。
adults? Not yet, but
だが
this time I need you
今
to
度
give
は
me a
グレー
hand.
シュにも手伝ってもらいたいんだ。
Promise that I would tell you what I'm going to do.
古の楽園に
A terrible
悪い
person
やつ
has
が現れたんだ。
appeared in the realm.
グレーシュの力を
We
借り
can
て
only defeat her using
彼
your
女を倒したい。
powers.
悪いやつ。
Terrible person?
ナイトさんに手伝ってもらうの。
彼の手を煩わす
We
必要
don't
は
have
な
to
い。
trouble him, Grisio.
グレーシュはいつものように絵を描けばいい。ただ
But
少し違
it'll
った
be a
形
little
で
different.
今回は
Can you
俺の色を使わず
not use my
言う
colors,
通りに絵を描い
but
てくれ
still
ないか。
paint what I tell you to?
ダメだよ、コズマ。
No, Cosmo.
色がないと
Without colors,
不格好にな
it'll be
る。
really ugly.
大丈夫だ。
Don't worry,
俺
I
と
Plasma
フアが手伝う。
will help you.
なら、
Then,
いいよ。
alright.
コズマは何を
Cosmo,
描いてほ
what
し
do
い
you
の
want me to paint?
まずは
Let's start with a
少年の絵から
portrait of
始
a
めよう。
young man.
As she lowered her brush, Hua ultimately could not hide the hint of unwillingness on her face. She stared intently at the brush in Grisio's hand, as if every stroke would bring a frightening disaster.
彼は
He
痩せっぽちで小
should
柄
be
だっ
really
た。
thin, but just like every other
それ
boy,
でも他の少
he
年と
wants
同
to
じよう
become a
に
hero.
彼は8歳の頃から
When he was
弱
8,
きを助け
he had
強き
already
をく
begun
じ
to
き
commit heroic
それを
deeds.
繰り返すことで
He wanted to chase
目
after
標
his
に向かって進
aspiration
んでい
this
たん
way.
だ。
待って、コズマ。
Wait, Cosmo,
その物語は
how do I paint out these
どう描けば
stories?
そうだな。
Relying on only
た
himself
った
to
一人
gather
で証
evidence
拠を集め
and intervene in the bad
悪
guy's
者の
plans.
The young girl shook her head.
場面が
There's
思い
no
浮かば
imagery
な
at
い。
all.
うーん。
He should
全
be
身タイツを着て
wearing a skin suit,
月の
running
光
along the
に
eaves
溶け
under
込
a
んで
midnight light.
I know it was
思い
moonlight
浮か
and I
んだ
read it
ものを
wrong,
その
but
まま描けばいい。
Let's paint as you
彼はい
suggest.
つも善を尽くそうとした。
He always wanted to achieve
そ
the
して
best
彼
of
の
both
思惑通り
worlds. And indeed,
何事もいつも
everything
う
went
まくいく。
smoothly as he wished.
そんな日々が続いていったんだ。
A companion of his, who
死
was a
であり
mentor and
友で
friend,
もある仲間が
met with grave danger.
仲間
Companion?
どんな風に描けばい
Should I
いの？
paint him?
そうだな。
Maybe. Like a father
父
figure.
親の
お父さんみたいな感じ。
Alright.
その時
At that
ほぼ
time,
勝てないような強
he'd
敵に
given
遭
up
遇
his
したん
life
だ。
to save many others. Against
よ
a
り多くの
practically
人々を救
invincible
うため
enemy.
にもちろんみんなはそれ
Of
を
course,
利害を
those people
天秤
thought
に
that
か
he
けた
could
結果
choose
だ
the
という。
lesser of two evils.
彼は理性的に正しい
But it
選
was
択
the
肢を選
rational
んだ
and
に過
right
ぎない。
decision.
けど、
But that
そ
young
の子
man
は
couldn't accept that.
ああ、
Yeah,
自
he
分の弱
believed
さ
that
ゆ
it
え
was
に
because he wasn't strong
こ
enough.
んな二度とこんなことが起こらないようにと
He willingly
自分
turned
を
into
化
a
け物にし
monster
てまで悲劇
to
を止め
prevent
ようと
such
した。
things from happening again.
しかし
But it was all in vain.
必死にあがいても利害を天
He
秤にかけ
struggled
た結
resolutely.
果を
But
より
whenever
最
he
悪な
chose
結末へ
between
と
two
導く
evils,
だけだったんだ。
he would ironically lose to
コ
both.
ズマ、
Cosmo,
それだと
I'm not sure how to continue
ま
if
た
you
どう
phrase
描
it
け
like
ばいいの？
this.
具体的な場面とか。
Have a more specific image in
ない
mind?
の？
Yes.
ある。命の灯火が最果てへとたどり
As
着い
he
た時
approached the end of his life,
彼
he
は受
faced
け入れ
another
がたい選
completely
択を迫られた。
unacceptable dilemma.
とある任務を命じられたんだ。
He was assigned a task
世界の終
to
焉を
board a
前に
huge
した
spaceship and leave the
人
Earth
類の新たな希
before
望を
the world
探すため
faced
に
an annihilative crisis
巨大な船に乗
to
り
search for new hope
地
for
球から
everyone.
つまり
That is to say,
災いからは生き残れる
he
が
could survive the
逃亡
crisis,
兵のようになる
but
か
he would be a deserter.
もしくは
Or
この世界と共に死
he
へ
could
と
stay
赴
and
く
die with the rest of the
ヒーロ
world
ーに
as
な
a
るか。
hero.
その話、
That sounds
なんだ
familiar.
か。
そうか。
Is that so?
もしかしたら話した
Perhaps
こ
I've
とがあ
told
る
you
のかも
this
しれな
story
い。
in the past.
この物語はあまり好きじゃない。
Although I don't like the story,
だが
I've finished
一
it
応すべて
after
読
all.
み終わ
コズマ、
But
そんな
Cosmo,
風に言うのは
you
良
shouldn't
く
say
ない
that
よ。
about others.
希望を探しに行
Those who
った
search
人
for
だっ
hope
て。
are also heroes.
だが
But
グレーシュ
Grisio, that was
あ
an
れは
abandoned
諦められ
plan
た計画だったんだ。
to begin with.
It wasn't really meant to
希
search
望
for
を
hope.
さ星たちの家
A trip to visit the stars.
そこにたどり着くための道
It's
は
still too far for humans.
あの船は確かに
Although
とあ
that
る天才
spaceship
が
was
作り
made
上
by
げ
a
た一便
genius,
だ
it could not accomplish
しか
such
し
a
時代の
tremendous
制
task
約によって
because of the limits of that
異
era.
形だから
So,
少年の
the
真
young
の使
man's
命と
real
は
orders were to
闇
hide
に
in this
潜み
darkness
悠久
and
の
wait
時を重
arduously
ね
for the day he could return.
もし世界が滅んでいた
If the
ら
world really came to an
船
end,
に保管された火
he
の
could
種を
scatter the kindling
再び
kept
この
in
地
the
にまく
spaceship over the earth again,
仲間たちの屍の
scatter
上
it
に
over the
まくんだ
corpses of his past comrades.
なら
Then, what did he choose to do?
もう一人の人物が
Someone else made
代
the
わりに
decision
選
for
択してく
him.
れたんだその少年は
In the end,
結
that
局の
young
とこ
man
ろ
was
未
too
熟で
childish and weak.
軟弱すぎた
He'd not have the power to make a decision between two
すでに利
evils.
害をけどこのことを教えた
But
の
I'm
は
telling you all
グレー
this
シュが各少年に
because
対
I
して
hope that you can make some
変わっ
changes
て
to
ほ
the
しい
young
と
man
願
you're
っているから
painting.
だできれば
Can you
現実を平
draw
然と
him
受
as
け入れ
someone
られ
who
る
can
ような
calmly accept reality?
より成熟したイメージにしてくれないか
より成熟
More mature?
ああこの絵に描かれ
Like
る
that
彼
this
は
painting,
他
you'll
人
no
が真
longer
剣に
feel
考え
that the
下
serious
した決断
decisions
を
made by others are
そう
merely
や
one
す
of
やすと
two
天秤に
evils.
か俺のような頑固なやつでも
He's
な
not as stubborn as me.
彼
He
は
someone
決
who
めるも
strongly
のが下
believes
した決断で
that
あれ
as long
ば
as the person who made the
利
decision
害を
thinks that
天
it
秤
was
にか
worth
け
it,
た結果が
then it's actually not
善を
picking
尽くし
between
た
one
も
of
の
the
であ
two
ると
evils,
本
but
当の意
getting
味
the
で理
best
解
of
できる
both worlds.
彼がずっと受け入れられなか
When
っ
he
たのも
kept rejecting him,
た
what
だ
he kept
そうして
rejecting
きた
was
自分
himself,
と向き合えなかった
who
だけ
could
なん
not
だ
calmly face such situations.
わがままなやつは嫌いだろ
Detestable, right? Don't paint
彼
him
を
that
そんな
way.
風に描かないでほしい
コズマと違って
Unlike Cosmo,
わ
selfish
が
people
まま
are
な
the
人は
worst,
大嫌い
aren't they?
そうか
She's completely missing. Well, okay. I think, has actually picked up on what he's saying. But she's also telling him that, like, hey, Cosma, your self-loathing is not how I view you. I don't view you in the negative way that you are saying about
なら
yourself
さっ
here.
き話した内容で描けるか
Then, can you paint what I just
わ
said?
からない
I don't know,
けど
but I'll try.
ため
大丈夫だ
Don't worry.
できなくても別
It's
に構わ
alright,
ない
even if you can't.
もともと
After all,
彼はそんなわがままな人間だった
you can change someone who
変わ
is
れ
so
なくても
selfish.
それでフは
Now,
ここ
Paul,
から先は
I'll leave
あん
the
たに
rest
任せ
to
る
you.
俺のために
Please,
彼女を
deceive her
騙してく
for
れ
me.
とうとうこの時が来てしまっ
Really
たの
come
で
down
す
to
ね
this.
わかりました
I know.
いや
A short time ago,
第8の神の
I
鍵で
want you to deceive Gracio's
グレーシュ
perception
の感
using the
覚
Ace
を
Divine
欺いて
Key.
ほしいんだ
What?
さっきも話したように
As I mentioned,
鈍勢の特性
even
を持
if
っ
I
ていた
have
と
the
しても
special trait to devour,
記憶体で
as
あ
a
る俺
memory
では
replica, I
侵
can't
食
build
の
the
律者
perfect
を長時
corruption
間
for
引き
long.
つしかしそれにも例外がある
Yes. The me who stands
もし
before
目の
her
前に立つ
isn't
俺
the
が
memory replica that she's
彼女
familiar
の知る
with.
そのことを悟られるまでは
Before she
雷の律
realizes
者のため
this,
に
we can
よ
create
り
more
多くの
opportunities
時間
for
が
the
稼げ
Archer
る
of Thunder.
そのために
So I want to
俺は
become one
グ
of
レーシュの
Gracio's
絵になる
paintings.
絵ですか
Her painting.
なら
But
グレーシ
Gracio
ュに
has
あ
to
な
use
たの
her
色を
colors
つければ
before
い
she
い待っ
can...
てください
Wait, you're
まさ
saying...
か
is the plan to make like a copy of him using the paintings and then have it devour him?
ああ俺の色ではなく
Yes. I'm hoping that
全
she
て
can
の
use
デ
all
ータ
my
を使って
data
ほしいんだ
instead of my colors.
それは
Why?
どうしてですか
これはある種の偽装なん
On
だ
one hand, it'll be a
もしかしたら、
layer of disguise that could obstruct
律者が俺を
Gracio's
侵
corruption
食
and deletion
もし
against
くは
me.
削除するときに
On the other hand,
絵を描かせるときに
I'll
グレ
make
ーシュ
some
にあ
request
る
to
リクエスト
Gracio
を
when
する
she's
つもりなん
painting.
だそうすることで
That way,
彼女は
she
俺
can
に
paint
似て
a
いるもの
Cosmo
の
that is similar,
全
yet
く
different
違
from
っ
me.
たそしてそうすることで
Only then can
彼
she
女は
create
過重長編を使いつつも
Only then can
ヒ
she
ーローの
create a
心を持
Cosmo
ったコ
that
ズマ
can
を作
fully
り出
unleash
せ
his over metamorph, overtaining his belief as a hero.
コズマあなたは
Are you still
まだ
unable
今
to
でも
face that part
あ
of
の
yourself?
姿の自分と
You people would call this my inner
あ
demon,
んたの故
and
郷の言葉を借りると
don't have the time to conquer it
いわゆる
anymore.
ですが彼女はうなずかない
But
でしょ
Gracio
う
would never agree to this.
あなたなら
You
そ
know
の
what
行
that
為の意
means.
味を理解している
You
は
give
ず
up on everything as a memory replica
記憶
and
体で
turn
は
into
な
mere
く
data.
ただのデータに
In
変
the
わる
Carnalesian realm,
それは今の状況ではつまり
That's a common
グレー
too.
シュに殺してもらう
Making
ようなこ
Grizio
となん
kill
で
you
すよ。
herself.
That's part of why he wants you to use Feng Huang down.
それがあんたに頼んだ理由なん
That's
だ。
why I'm asking you this favor.
それに
And in
楽園
this
でデータ
realm,
関連の操
we
作を行う
require
には
assistance from a psychic man to
精
think
神
of
感知
anything
型
on a
融
big
合
level.
戦士の協力が必要となる。
However, Pony and Sue can no
し
longer
かし
help
今
us.
だから
So,
第
we
8
can
の
only
神
rely
の
on
鍵
the
に
eighth
頼るしか
divine
ない。
key.
心配はいらない。
Don't worry.
ずっと前から
I'm looking for similar
似
ways
たよう
for
な
me
手
to
段
try
で荷重
over
長
memory
編を
since
試そう
long
としてい
ago
た。グレーシュの絵にな
to
る。
become one of Grizio's paintings.
これが最
This
善
is
の
the
方法なん
perfect
だ。
way.
俺は死ぬわけじゃな
I
いん
won't
だ。
die. I'll live forever
ただ別の
in
形
a
で。
different way.
When Hua woke up from the memories, the painting had already been completed. Drop by drop, the color black turned into paint and settled on the paper. And the owner of that color, Cosmo's body, was nowhere to be found.
ありがとう
Thank
フ
you,
ワお姉
Miss
ちゃん
Hua.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
コズマ
For
に頼まれ
Cosmo
ま
had
したが、
asked me for help so earnestly. But
私はやっぱりあな
I
たが
still
決め
think
る
that
こ
you
とだ
should
と
make the
思ったん
decision
で
for
す。
yourself.
So she didn't do what Cosmo asked. Because Cosmo was doing it to protect Grizio, right? To make her not actually know what she was doing or understand what she was doing, so that she wouldn't remember what she had done. But Fu Hua is saying, no, it had to be by your will. It had to be your decision to do this, because otherwise I'm taking this away from you. In the end, she did not use the power of the Feng Huang
それ
down.
に
And
あ
you're
なたは
still
彼が
and you're
思
a
って
lot
いたより
stronger
も
than
ず
he
っと
imagines.
強い、もしくは
Or
こ
maybe
の行動が何
he
を意
doesn't
味し
really
てい
know
る
the
の
true
か理
meaning
解し
behind
てい
his
ないのかも。
actions.
彼のことを
I
あ
hope
ま
you
り
don't
責め
blame
ない
him.
であげてください。
He has his own reasons
隠
for
していた
hiding
の
this
は
from you.
大丈夫
It's alright.
悪意のない嘘もあ
Mama
る
Pony once said that some
アポニアお母
that
さん
some
も言っ
lies
て
are
た
white lies.
でも
But
フ
Miss
ワお姉
Hua,
ちゃん
what do you mean by
思ってい
strong?
たよりもそれはいいことじゃない
Isn't that a
の
good thing?
やっぱりそうだった
I
ん
knew
で
it.
すね。
She pondered over the words to say. Should she use more childlike words to ease his cruelty? When she was facing death in the past, how did others guide
ほ
her?
ら
You see,
Cosmo は
Cosmo,
違う形で
he
ここ
he
にと
simply
どま
found
ってい
another
る
way
だ
to
けだ
stay
よ
here.
いえ、グレーシュ、
No, Grizio,
彼はもう
he's all ready.
え
Wait,
グレーシュ
Grizio?
あのね
Yeah,
私も
I
コ
also
ズマ
lied
に
to
嘘をつ
Cosmo.
いた色がないと
If there are
絵
no
は描
colors,
け
I
ない
cannot paint. I still
Nakara.
used Cosmo's colors in the
だ
end.
から
So this painting
この絵に描かれ
is
て
the
い
real
るのは
Cosmo. And
そういうことだったんだ
so that's how it is.
つまり違和感があるけど
Although he looked weird
さ
to
っきの
Cosmo
コズマ
himself,
こそが
was his true
彼
form.
思ってもいないことは
He
話
claimed
さ
to
ない
mean
な
what
ん
he
て
said.
Although he did not expect Grizio's recklessness, Cosmo's plan was still successful. And perhaps the reason behind this coincidental turn of events was because Cosmo did not understand himself well enough. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I said before. He's trying to, like, tell Grizio to change things. But she's telling him, like, no, that's already who you are. Or at the very least, that's how I view you. And so he's trying to create, like, a better version of himself, but that better version is already what exists. The determination that the young man had claimed he never had was actually engraved deep in his heart
け
since
ど
long
グレ
ago.
イシュ
But
すで
Grizio,
に分
since
か
you
って
already
いるの
knew,
なら
why'd you still
な
come
ぜ
to
彼
me?
の気遣いを踏
Are
み
you
にじっ
worried
たこ
that
と
I
に
would
な
let
る
you
んじゃ
let
ない
him
の
down?
コズマ
Cosmo
は
stood behind
あ
so
な
you
たが
wouldn't
犠
need to
牲にな
sacrifice
らないよ
yourself.
うに去って
Because I
私は
cannot leave.
それもそうか
Oh, right, I
聞く
shouldn't
べ
have
きじゃ
asked
なかっ
that.
たね
The answer was too
今の
obvious.
光景をコズマが
I'm
見て
sure
いたら
Cosmo would also feel comforted
彼
if
も
he
きっ
could
と
see
ほっと
if
す
he
る
could
だ
see
ろう
this
ね
now.
彼が今からもらった
Didn't you
曲
pass
光
this?
は
Didn't he
す
already
でに
pass on
受
the
け継がれ
daybreak
ている
that he got from Otto?
ならグレイシュ
Alright then, little Grizio.
彼の代わりに
I'll take good care of
私
you.
がちゃんと世
And
話し
instead,
Hey,
コズマの
hey,
選
you
択は
keep your
本
hands
当
off.
に残念だと思うよ
I truly feel regretful
だから約
for
束
even
してグレイ
Cosmo's
シュ
death. Promise me,
あなた
Grizio,
は
that you
私を
Don't sadden me
悲し
like
ませる
that.
ことをしちゃいけない
No, you can't make me. You can't make me be the one to have to do it. This isn't fair. What is happening?
マンチックな気分
double
になってみない？
Cosmos. I really feel like I have
もう
fought
私の邪魔を
Cosmo.
しないで。
Cosmo, stop
こん
trying
な
to
にも
stop
時
me.
間を費やしたのに
After wasting
手
so
ぶら
much
で帰
time,
るわけにはい
I'm
か
about
な
to
いの。
leave with my hands empty. I feel like this is the base design they used for the Borison
私
in Star Rail.
泣いちゃうわよ。私の気持ちちゃんと受け取ってね。いや、おかしい。この感覚。
Strange. This feeling is. Is Grizio reverse corrupting her? Oh. In that moment, she finally understood that Grizio meant much more when she said that she could not leave. Undoubtedly, Grizio didn't have the special trait that Cosma had. If she touched her ever so slightly, she could corrupt her completely. But why? Why couldn't she feel the usual vivid sense of fulfillment she got after her
グレ
corruption?
イシュ、
Grizio,
あなた、
you
あなた、
drew yourself into
自
a
分も絵
painting
に書
too?
き込んだの。
I had a feeling this was where it was going.
最後に
In the end,
もう一人
someone
の
else
人
made the
物が
decision for him.
代わりに選択してくれたんだって
Right?
なら、この絵
Then
に
of
も
course there should be someone
もう
else
一
in
人
this
がいるべ
painting.
き。みんなには白紙って呼ばれてる。
She doesn't want to be apart from him, and she doesn't want him to be apart from
自分
her.
をキャンバスにしたって
And so everyone says
Cosmo
I'm
は
like a
気に
blank
し
piece
な
of
いよね。
paper. I think Cosmo wouldn't mind if I used myself as a canvas. She had used a tremendous amount of her supposed spare time to corrupt the painting. The fact that she's angry about that is interesting. Because again, it shows how... even though they are they're coming from a similar starting place, she and Alicia are completely different, and they're reaching completely different end places. She's angry about that. Alicia wouldn't be angry in this situation. Well, Alicia wouldn't be in this situation. She wouldn't have gone down this path, but you know what I mean. She had not obtained a speck of data from the Flame Chaser's memory replicas, and even expanded their powers in the battle herself. How could she contain this anger? Then,
グレイシュは
what about Grisio?
もちろん
Of course.
コズマ
Just
と
like
グレイシュ、
Cosmo.
あ
Grisio,
なたが彼
since
を
you
書
already
き出した
painted
のな
him,
ら、つまりそれは
this is your
あ
own
なたの
decision.
絵で私に
I'm
追
going
撃
to
さ
throw
せな
your
いた
life
めに
away just to
自
stop my
分の命
pursuit.
を無駄。
追撃
And again, the deep non-Alicia voice.
それ
Pursuit?
はどういう意
What
味
does that mean?
コズマは
Cosmo.
ずっと話したことがなかったけど
He is the most afraid of loneliness.
私がただ
I just don't want him to be in the painting alone. At this moment, the anger that the Hersher had been effortlessly suppressing finally burst out at the seams, almost breaking her outer shell known as Alicia. In an almost violent manner, she disintegrated Grisio's disappearing figure, together with her fading painting. Before this, she thought that the others had already sacrificed themselves for reasons absurd
今
enough.
度は
And
さ
now,
らにふざ
an
けた理
even
由
more
で
absurd
こう
reason.
も簡単に
All of you will
自
give up
分
your
の
lives
命を捨てるな
so
んて。
easily like this?
時間稼ぎ
As
それ
beings
は
made
デ
of
ータであ
data,
る私
the
たち
only
に
thing
で
we
き
can
る
do
唯一の
before
こ
used
と
to
で
buy
す。この
time.
子たちは
And they,
最善を尽くしま
those
した
two children, have already given all they could, and did so well. I'm sad. No, I'm really sad actually. This is so well written. This whole section was Cosmo and Grisio. It is very much the culminations of their arcs. Because the core idea here is that Cosmo, the only thing holding him back from being the hero that he wanted to be was himself. And so by having Grisio paint him in this way, while it's still being completely perfectly Cosmo, but him thinking it's not and thinking it's the ideal version of him, he was able to create that ideal version. And yeah, just Grisio couldn't leave him alone because he'd be sad. And so she painted herself with him, which I don't know if they'll be able to recreate themselves in this way. I don't know how the painting system works in that, but she was willing to die also to make sure that he wasn't alone. It's so sweet. It's so good. I love Grizio so much. Cosmo's fine, but I love Grizio so much. I don't want her to be dead. It's okay though, because she's one of the few that's alive outside. Maybe there's a big Grizio. I don't know if that's canon or not, but please let it be canon. The Hersher of Corruption stood still, looking at the young girl before her, as if trying to understand all those seemingly meaningless acts. So, were you the one who brought them? I've already done a painting here. She spoke in an odd tone. Before this, she had never expressed such exhaustion and helplessness. How does that painting look like? Can you let me take a look? It's too late. You've already corrupted it yourself. I know. Can you describe it for me? I'm just curious. Recalling Grizio's final masterpiece, Hua sank into silence. Amid the black and gray, only countless lines spread out like rays of light. The painting evoked a child's mindless doodle. She did not know the technique Grizio used, nor the meaning she wished to convey. But for some reason, that scenery reminded Hua of a sight that she had coincidentally seen in reality. Cosma! What does daybreak mean? Why are you asking that? Just curious. Let's use your signal to explain. Can you see the stars in the sky? Daybreak refers to the light exuded by the star that's closest to us. Does that mean it's not special at all? No. It's very special, despite how it can't illuminate anything because it came through But when people see it, they'll know that. The stars are filled in the sky. Innumerable rays of light will appear, sooner or later. It was their own colors that they left in a world of colors. It's beyond me to describe even words. And I'm afraid you're not the audience that Grizio wanted either. And Hua, do you know, emphasizes how I felt when I deleted Cosmo? I must feel terrible to send your friends off to their deaths like this. It's not sadness. It's the respect that I must give them. Now then, it's my turn to fulfill my calling. Calling? Oh, what do you mean? The original plan? What exactly was it? I'll show you the true meaning behind their sacrifice. There they go. It still isn't hitting me as hard as Part of Fellas, but it's so sweet. It's so much. I want them. Give them back to me. You can't keep getting away with this. All right, though. That's where we're gonna end for today. We're getting there. We're making progress. Oh, I like this game. This chapter's a lot better. This chapter's really good. It's making this arc feel more complete. Sorry, chapter 30 was also really good. At least the part of Fellas and Bilby parts of it. I have no complaint. It's similar to how I felt with The Spoke Apocalypse. Like there were some parts of it that like really drag on and drag it down, but like the core parts of it and the emotion in it is incredible, and it brings it back up once it hits those parts. Yes, so we will continue this next time. We may finish it. I don't know how far into it I actually am, but hopefully we finish this soon, and we're definitely making good progress. But yeah, thank you all for coming, and I shall see you all again in the future. Bye-bye now.